Dear participants, welcome to our info day today about Horizon 2020 Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, Individual Fellowships, Online Info Day. We are organizing this event with the collaboration of European Commission. Today's event will focus especially on Marie Curie individual fellowships, the calls of which are open till September 9th. It is a very important date for you. The agenda will also include a general information on MSCA in Horizon Europe as well as comprehensive presentations on tips and tricks by experts and fellow experience sessions. We will be listening to Eleni Konsta and Sami Batish from European Commission for the details of Marie Curie opportunities. Dr. Cengiz Acartürk from METÜ is also with us to share his experience as an expert evaluator for Marie Curie Actions Individual Fellowship. And Dr. Özgür Atalay will be with us to share his experience on successful proposal writing and submission. Before the end of the program, you will also listen to Marie Skłodowska-Curie National Contact Point Services and TÜBİTAK supports for researchers and research performing institutions. Before the session starts, I would like to remind if you have any questions on the matters, you can type your questions in chat part and we will be answering them during the sessions and in the Q&A session at the end of both sessions. The presentations will be shared after the events. And now I would like to invite Mete Karaca, International Cooperation Director at TÜBİTAK, for his opening speech. The floor is yours, Mr. Karaca.
Thank you, Şeyma. Good morning, everyone. I am Mete Karaca. I am Director for International Cooperation in TÜBİTAK. I would like to welcome you all to the Marie Curie Info Day. It's our pleasure to see and host the distinguished representatives of Turkish higher education institutions and industries from research and related fields. And first of all, I would like to thank our guests from EC, Eleni and Semi for supporting the organization of this Info Day. Actually, we were organizing this Info Day physically, but because of this pandemic, we have to organize it in online. I wish we will organize a physical Info Day in Turkey as well in near future. I also would like to thank our special guests Özgür Atalay and Cengiz Acartürk for their participation and sharing experience about Marie Curie program. Turkey has increasing R&D investment to ensure a research environment through mission and impact-oriented funding by enabling strategic international cooperation in research and development. TÜBİTAK provides support for both industrial support for high technology innovation hubs as well as support high technology platforms. They are target-oriented, collaborative, focused on long-term targets. They can be enriched also with participants from EU. Actually, we strongly advise our researchers to enlarge their consortia with EU participation as well. Turkey has a long tradition of taking part in transnational cooperation at the European level. International cooperation is one of our priority in our STI policies. Actually, last year we enhanced our bilateral cooperation agreement with about 60 different countries. And via multilateral platforms, our researchers can cooperate nearly 90 different countries' researchers as well. Turkey has been a partner country in EU framework programs since 2004. We believe framework programs are one of the best platforms for international cooperation in research development and innovation. As you all know, we are in a transition period for Horizon Europe. And we do not have any official decision yet, but our internal decision and bilateral discussion with European Commission is going on. And probably we will be in the next framework program as an associated country as well. Turkey has made a great progress in Horizon 2020, especially last year. We are specifically raised our success in Marie Curie, ERC, and energy and ICT area as well. Marie Curie actions, which are under scientific excellence pillar of the Horizon 2020 program, aims to facilitate the international mobility of researchers, to support their career development, and to make Europe a center of attraction for all researchers. This is again a priority in Turkey as well. Marie Curie program helps internationalization of local innovation actors, which is of key importance in order to boost local innovation capacity and allow researchers to follow global technological priorities easier in the long term. In order to encourage the participation to the program, we design a support mechanisms for researchers. Supports are provided since 2014. Our friends will give detailed information, but I will give some brief information. TÜBİTAK provides Marie Curie pre-evaluation support to the Marie Curie proposals. A total number of 247 applications were submitted to individual fellowship pre-evaluation support in Horizon 2020, and the majority of them were supported. Among the supported projects, 114 were above threshold, got seal of excellence, and 19 were funded, and 6 were in the reserve list. Today, main aim of this event is to strengthen the current cooperation. I believe this will also make a great contribution in raising awareness among the stakeholders about Marie Curie cause. And lastly, we are also about to launch a call for the projects which get a Seal of Excellence certificate after applying Marie Curie individual fellowship programs. As you all know, Horizon 2020 is very competitive and the success rates are very low. So those who got a Seal of Excellence certificate but not funded from EU, we want to fund this program with our national budget of TÜBİTAK, in case they still are eligible for the IF rules, especially on mobility. We are now working on it, the details, and we will be announcing the details when all details are cleared. Actually, after applying this Marie Curie program, you will have another program if you have a Seal of Excellence certificate, but you are not funded. You will come to TÜBİTAK and get a grant as well. Thank you very much. Now I wish all participants a fruitful meeting and would like to thank you again for your presence today.
I would like to thank Mr. Karca for his speech. And now I would like to invite Eleni Consta from European Commission for her presentation on key features in Horizon 2020 and proposals for Horizon Europe. Eleni, floor is yours.
Hello, good morning. I seem to have a little bit of a problem with my screen, but I think it's working now. I hope you hear me and you see me. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much to TÜBİTAK for organizing the event. We have been some time ago discussing of a physical presence, but unfortunately the current COVID-19 crisis and the lockdowns in different countries did not allow us to meet in person. But thank you very much. I'm very grateful that TÜBİTAK had managed to organize it in a digital manner, and the timing actually is very pertinent as the call is open right now. So from the part of the European Commission, my presentation will be short and quite broad, because what I would like to do in this presentation is to give you an overview of Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. I know that the focus of today is the individual fellowships, but let me highlight the individual fellowships is a big part of Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions and only part of a puzzle. So you will see that we are aiming to reach the research careers, the careers of the researchers at different stages. And as Mr. Karachak has already expressed, let me go to some key features of MSCA. In general, Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions have some key features. The mobility is a very important one, and I think it was also mentioned already. For us, it's very important for researchers to be mobile, because we see that this mobility ensures interdisciplinarity, ensures access to different organizations, and this helps research to become better. Training and career development are key features of MSCA, because what we want to do is to give the ammunition to the HR, to the human resources at the research and innovation area, to be able to fight and to tackle challenges of the current challenges, but also to be prepared for future ones. So it provides doctoral programs, postdoctoral fellowships, collaborative projects, and what is very, very important is that the different actions focus on different stages of a researcher's career. You will see once I briefly mention the different actions that the focus is at different career steps in each researcher's point of life. It covers all domains of research. This is a very, it's not a unique, because ERC, the European Research Council, and the European Innovation Council are also European Commission programs of a bottom-up character, but it is a very flexible and interesting characteristic of Marie Skłodowska-Curie action. So the applicant can choose the scientific area that they wish, and this also helps very much, we believe, to tackle issues from an interdisciplinary approach. And this is what is needed right now, because all the problems that we are facing are very, very complex and they need interdisciplinarity. A very important characteristic is the exposure to the non-academic sector. We know, everybody knows in the research family, that the career options within the academic sector are to some sort of a limitation, and it is for the benefit of researchers, for the society in general, that there is this cross-cutting, cross-disciplinary approach between the different sectors, intersectoral collaboration. And by non-academic sector, it is broad. We mean especially industry and SMEs, but not only governmental organizations, non-profit organizations, international organizations, or NGOs. So it's rather broad. Last but not least is the promotion of attractive working employment conditions for MSCA. For MSCA fellows. So by financing up to 100% of the salary, but not only, offering the possibility of family allowance, the possibility of social coverage, as well as training programs. What we want to do is to promote a culture that truly valorizes the research development of the career development of a researcher. So if we go, I'm not sure if I have the control. Thank you very much. So in a nutshell, the different actions of Marie Skłodowska-Curie program. As I said before, today we are focusing on individual fellowships, and this is very timely, but let me remind you that the individual fellowships are part of a bigger puzzle. Let me start with the innovative training networks. The innovative training networks are of a different character, so it's programs that are host-driven. They are focusing on early researchers, so mainly providing a PhD. So in that, let's say, career stage, we are focusing on the early researchers, and they are implemented by networks, and also the applicants are networks of organizations. The individual fellowships, both SAMI from the Research Executive Agency as well as the participants later on will speak in detail about the individual fellowships. But for me, only to highlight that they focus on individuals. They focus on experienced researchers, experienced meaning either having a PhD or having at least 4 years experience in research, and focusing mainly on the postdoc career stage of researchers' career life. The other action is RISE, which is the staff exchange, research staff exchange of non-European entities and with the private sector. So coming again into the research, into the different stage of one's career, there we see that these are for more mature researchers and research staff. Co-fund is another action proposed, supported by Marie Skłodowska-Curie program, which provides both doctoral and postdoctoral training. The peculiarity and the difference is that it is co-funded, as the name says, meaning that the support of the European Commission is added to national schemes and regional schemes. So it truly enhances synergies between the different financing programs, and we see this as a very beneficial opportunity. And finally, the European Researchers' Night, which is known. It is a science festival, takes place every year, every September. And it's mainly an outreach event and giving the opportunity to researchers and citizens to come together and talk about research. So going to the next slide, as I said before, for us the impact is of huge importance, and we cannot speak about impact without. Please allow me to refer to some figures as well. So Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions is a program that has been supporting researchers for over 20 years. For the current period, multi-annual financial framing period, which is 2014-2020, the well-known Horizon 2020, which comes to an end in this year, the budget for MSCA is 6.2 billion, and aiming to support more than 65,000 researchers, including 25,000 PhDs. And as I said before, it is not only mobility, it's not only training and career development, it is also, and Mr. Karaca also highlighted in the beginning, it's about excellent research. And let me take the opportunity to refer to 9 Nobel laureates that have been either fellows or coordinator or supervisors in the different MSCA actions. And for this, we are very proud, and we consider it as a key characteristic of MSCA. And with my next slide, I will just use the opportunity to refer to a quote of an individual fellow who won the Nobel Prize winner in chemistry in 2014, where he really highlights how important the MSCA has been for his career development and his research achievements. And for us, this is really, it really embodies what we are looking for. Let me briefly talk to you, but also Mr. Karaca mentioned how Turkey is in MSCA. These are figures coming from the country profile. You can also find them in the internet. But I will briefly mention some interesting figures. First of all, Over 500 Turkish researchers have been supported by Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions in general. I'm not focusing only on individual fellowships right now, but also in co-fund, in RISE and NIGHT. And we see that RISE has been also very popular. The staff research exchange has been also very popular among Turkish researchers, and other researchers came to Turkish institutions, almost 200, 187, visited Turkish research organizations through MSCA, have been supported to do so. Going to the next slide, in terms of scientific panels, we will talk about, and Sami from the Research Executive Agency will guide you through all scientific panels, but it is interesting to note that for Turkey, the engineering panel, so information science and engineering, is by large the one that where the financed projects come from. And again, I refer to all MSCA actions, followed by social science and humanities, which is 15.5. Then, before going to what are the proposals for the future, I will very briefly guide you some key elements of individual fellowships as they are right now. I will not talk to them about them in detail, because Sami will very thoroughly analyze all steps, but allow me to remind some key characteristics, some key elements, so that I help you understand what are the proposals of the Commission for the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions in Horizon Europe. So individual fellowships, as said before, are for individuals, best and most promising experienced researchers, and by experience we mean either having a PhD or for a year full-time research experience. It has two destinations: European fellowships, meaning going to or being mobile within Europe, and within Europe we mean member states and associated countries, in Turkey included, as well as global fellowships, meaning from Europe to a third country. In the European fellowships, there are different panels, not only the scientific ones, but in terms of focus, in terms of career aspect focus, there are different panels. And these have different eligibility criteria that Sami will later on explain further. And going to the next slide, please. This summarizes what I said before. So for the European fellowship, the mobility is to Europe and within Europe, including associated countries, as I said before. And global fellowships are an outgoing phase, going to a third country, but an incoming, added with an incoming phase, again, back to Europe. And with this, I close here the big elements of individual fellowships as they are right now, in order to go to the how we propose for the future to evolve. So MSCA in Horizon Europe. In the next slide. So as you already know, and as Mr. Kalcha has already highlighted, we are in the end of the current Horizon 2020, which is the multi-annual financial framework focused on research and innovation. And it ends at the end of this year. From 2021 to 2022, there will be the next framework for research and innovation called Horizon Europe. We, at the current period, heavily discussing, negotiating different aspects of Horizon Europe, of the next framework program. A lot has been already agreed at Council and at the European Parliament level. Still, a lot needs to be fine-tuned. But in any case, the aim of the Horizon Europe will be to strengthen EU scientific technological base, to boost Europe's innovation capacity, and to deliver on citizens. Let me take the opportunity to also remind that very recently, the President of the European Commission, Mr. von der Leyen, had made a new proposal for a multi-annual financial framework, including Horizon Europe. So having taken into consideration the very important crisis of following the COVID-19. The new framework program for the Commission takes that on board, and the proposals that are put on the table are also having a large, to a large extent, a notion of recovery mechanisms, a notion of building resilient societies, and bouncing back from the crisis. So what will not change in Horizon Europe is the pillars. Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions will remain in pillar 1, which is excellent science. Please, next slide. And then going to how MSCA would look like in Horizon Europe. First of all, and this is a definite issue, everybody agrees that it is a very successful program that needs to be continued, and it will be continued. As I said before, the emphasis will be on impact. In any case, Horizon Europe focuses a lot on impact, on having key impact at researchers level, at institutional level, at system level, at European research area level in general. So the impact will be, again, a key feature in MSCA in Horizon Europe, and it will be based in the 3 I's, as we call them, the international, intersectoral, and interdisciplinary dimension of MSCA. 5 areas of interventions will remain: mobility for researchers, training for researchers, the strengthening of the human capital, facilitating synergies, but also not only in terms of programs within Horizon Europe, but also with other funding instruments, and promoting public outreach, because it is very important to have the link between the science and the citizens. And I would say, personally, I think that the current COVID-19 crisis showed the importance of having this link as strong as possible. So in the next slide, please. The evolution of Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions in Horizon Europe will follow some key values, some key elements. The main issues would be to streamline the actions, to make them clearer, to harmonize conditions and make the rules simpler, because we have seen in the past that this is something that can be fine-tuned and simplified. Simplify the forms of grant. Another issue is to implement demand management measures. MSCA is a very successful, is a very popular program. Particularly the innovative training networks and the individual fellowships are very popular, and the success rate is not as high as one would like to. So the aim would be to put some demand measures in order to enhance the success rate of those who apply. The aim, again, will be having structuring effects in host institutions. An emphasis will be put into the exposure to academia and to supervision. And as I said before, synergies within Horizon Europe and with other funding instruments. Next, please, slide. And talking about clarity, clarifying the different actions between them. Let us start first of all by names. So ITNs, we propose to transform them into doctoral networks. I'm sorry, but there is one adjustment that needs to be done in the slides. Individual fellowships are proposed to be named postdoctoral fellowships, so as to focus even further the postdoctoral character of the fellowship. RISE will be is proposed to be transformed in staff exchange. Co-fund remains the same, and Researchers' Night and all activities that have a link with the citizens and with society will be bundled under one action, MSCA and citizens. And going now to how the Commission's proposals are in terms of individual fellowships, postdoctoral fellowships, proposed postdoctoral fellowships in Horizon Europe. Let me remind that these are proposals. So we have been extensively discussing with the different stakeholders about these proposals, and we are currently extensively discussing both within the services of the Commission as well as with member states and with the program committee on fine-tuning and finalizing these proposals. But excellent proposals. I think it's an opportunity because the timing is correct. The maturity of the development of this thinking is high enough to give you a glimpse of what are the proposals for the Commission regarding postdoctoral fellowships, because the excellent proposals are not drafted in 4 months. They are drafted in years. So I think it's fair that applicants have a glimpse of what will be what is the thinking of the Commission. So in postdoctoral fellowships, I'm sorry, if you could go back to the previous slide, please. I'm sorry. Thank you. So for the postdoctoral fellowships, the focus will be on postdoctoral, as the name says. It will be, the aim is to clarify and simplify the action. As I said before, there are different panels right now. They have different eligibility criteria, and Sami later on will guide you, will give you a very complicated table on eligibility criteria among panels, and the aim is to simplify it. So we will have, the proposal is to have one single action without the different panels. Only the scientific ones will be, are proposed to be kept with 2 destinations. So postdoctoral fellowships, European destination and global destination. There will be a strong input, a strong effort to expose researchers to academia and beyond through relaxed secondments, even more initiative for secondments beyond the academic sector. So this we propose to be a key characteristic. Intensify the training and as well as the career development plan, because this is very, very important, and it has been important not only for us from the Commission point of view, but also what we realized discussing with stakeholders and with fellows. As I said before, some measures that would manage demand are needed to be put in place, and the proposals right now would be to limit the research experience of the applicants. Until now, there is no research ceiling, let's say in the research years. But the proposal would be to have a ceiling of most probably, the proposal is most probably 6 years after having obtained a PhD. So the focus will be on the more scientifically younger generation. Also, another proposal is to require PhD. So having a PhD is proposed to be a requirement. And finally, another proposal is about resubmissions, and where we propose that proposals with a lower level remark will not be able to be resubmitted as such in the next call. As I said before, these are ideas that have been extensively discussed and are again extensively discussed and negotiated with the member states and with the associated countries and with through our program committee, and are being fine-tuned. But it's a good opportunity to also give some visibility to these proposals as well through your through this meeting. And let me conclude with some links in my final slide. I'm sure that we will have the opportunity to answer questions, and also Sami after me will give a very extensive and thorough analysis of the individual fellowships. But let me use this opportunity to give you information about some links that you will find that you might find interesting. The funding and debtors portal is a must. for those who want to apply. Research Inquiry Services is also very useful link. And let me conclude with two webinars that have been organized for co-fund and IF for individual fellowships. So the two open actions right now from the Net for Mobility Plus, they have already taken place. Yet they have been registered. And if you would like to follow again in more detail, you can find the videos of these webinars in the link that I have forwarded you. So thank you again very much for inviting me and for organizing the event. And I'm happy to answer to questions either now after the meeting or after the event as well. Thank you very much.
Dear Eleni, I thank you very much. It was really very helpful. I guess we will be answering the questions after Sami's presentation altogether. We are now noting them. Yes, thank you very much, Eleni. And Sami, we will be listening to you right now for the detailed information on IF with all panels. The floor is yours. Let me share your... Un momento. Okay, Sami. I cannot hear you. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes. Now we can hear you.
Okay.
Welcome.
So, sorry. So thank you very much for, can you see me? No?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks a lot for the invitation again. This is very timely. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to promote the last call of individual fellowships under Horizon 2020. It's also very timely because I just heard from the opening statement that you will have a seal of excellence that will allow those researchers that were not funded under IF call and that got a score above 85, they will have the opportunity to be funded. And it's also very timely because we also have a widening fellowship that I will present, meaning that at the end of the day, if you apply this year to the IF fellowship, IF scheme, you will have 3 chances of being funded. So that's quite an opportunity. Next slide, please. I will come back into the overall structure of the MSCA action. Next slide, please. So just can go to the next slide. Can you move on to the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you. So I will try during my presentation to present what are the main features of the IF call, what is a typical individual fellowship project, what are the different type of actions that are available under the individual fellowship scheme that have been touched upon by Eleni before that. I will describe the eligibility condition. I will say a word on the widening fellowship, which, as I said, will give you an extra chance of being funded. And then I will show you some slides about the statistics, about the results of the previous call, to give you a flavor of the type of results that we had, the success rate, the nationality of the researchers, and their profile, and the type of host institution that got funded. And I will end up by a description of the submission and evaluation process. So the IF scheme is like any other MSCA action, is there to support and to promote the career of the researchers through training and mobility. And as the name stands for, individual fellowship, the researcher is really the center of the project. And so which type of researcher are we talking about here? We are addressing those researchers that are experienced, meaning that they have obtained their PhD by the call deadline, or that can demonstrate that they have at least 4 years of experience in research. So the call is open to experienced researchers of any nationality, with some restriction of long-term residence for some type of action, but I would come back to. Next slide, please. So the call is targeting experienced researchers of any nationality, and it's also targeting any type of sector, meaning that we would, as Eleni mentioned, we really encourage the mobility through academic and non-academic sector. And so what do we mean by academic sector? The call is open to any organization that is academic, meaning that the organization is either an institution that deliver higher education diploma, or a non-for-profit research organization that has the primary mission to perform research. And it's also considered as academic those international organizations of European interest, like typically the CERN. And what is a non-academic organization? It is basically any entity that is not meeting the definition of an academic institution. So in practice, it means that is considered as non-academic companies, meaning big corporation, SMEs, governments, local governments, NGOs, hospitals, museums, and international organizations. So the scheme is open to experienced researchers of any nationality, to both academic and non-academic sector. And all the proposals, although the projects are focusing on the researcher, the proposals should be submitted by organizations that are located either in a member state, one of the 27 member states, in an organization that is located in the UK, that is considered as a member state for the last call, or from an associated country that you can see the list here, to which belong Turkey. Other organizations from third country, meaning outside Europe, could participate under the Global Fellowship scheme as partner organization, meaning that they will not sign the grant agreement, but they will be considered as partner organization, and they should be identified in the proposal. But I will come back to that. So now that I have described the main features of the IF code, let's go to an overview about what is a typical IF project. So first of all, the individual fellowship scheme, like any other MSc action, is a bottom-up program, meaning that we are not prescribing any specific scientific discipline. However, in order to make some ranking lists under the standard action and the global fellowship action, to allow proposal to compete among each other, and in order to allow us to find the right expertise to assess your proposals, we have defined 8 scientific panels. Those panels are the chemistry, social science and humanities, economics, engineering, environmental science, life science, mathematics, and physics. So a typical IF project is articulated along 3 main actors. The first one being the experienced researcher that is going to be that has obtained his PhD, or that can demonstrate 4 years of experience. These researchers, as I say, can be of any nationality, with some restriction of long-term resident for reintegration panel and global fellowship. The second key actor is the host institution, meaning that this host institution will be the one that will be responsible for submitting the proposal, for implementing the project, and for signing the grant agreement with us, the research executive agency. And this host institution, as an eligibility condition, should be located in a member state or in UK or in an associated country like Turkey. In the case of the global fellowship, since it's based on 2 stages, an outgoing phase and a return phase, for the outgoing phase, there should be a partner institution from a third country. And the third and last key actor of the IF project is the supervisor. The supervisor is appointed by the host institution. It is well recognized scientific, and it will be responsible for supporting the researchers, for providing advice, mentoring, and supervision all over the project implementation. So these are the key 3 actors. And in terms of activities, so as I said, the projects are really focused on the researcher. It is a research project training through research based on the researchers' proposals. The idea is not only to acquire scientific knowledge, but also to gain some technical skills in terms of the use of new instruments or research infrastructures. Sorry, and to also acquire some more horizontal skills like proposal writing, exploitation of results through IPR management or entrepreneurship, and as well some supervision, student supervision skills. This is some examples. There's this possibility to have transfer of knowledge with other institutions or with other sectors. That can be done through secondment. I'll come back to that in the next slide. Typical IF projects also includes activities of dissemination and communication. Dissemination to the scientific community through participation in conferences, through publications in peer-reviewed journals, but also some more outreach activities that are aiming at promoting science toward the young generations or to the public at large through participation in science festival, public talk, or visits to schools, for instance. Next slide, please. So there is also a possibility to have secondment in your proposals, meaning that you can spend some time in another institution than the host institution that will be submitting the project. This secondment period should be limited to 6 months maximum if your project is above 18 months. There is no minimum length for those secondments. Those secondments can also be sequenced. They can be done in one block or sequenced in 2, 3 blocks. And they can also take place in non-academic sector, the academic sector, in a different country or within the same country. At the end of the day, the idea of the secondment is really to bring value to your training and to the research activities of your project. There's also the possibility to have some short visits outside. Something I didn't mention is that those secondments should mandatorily take place in a member state or in an associated country. And there's also the possibility to have some short visits outside Europe or in Europe, in order typically to do some study field visits if you have to go to collect samples in the Arctic or in Amazonia, for instance. So now we have seen what are the key actors, what are the typical activities. We said a word on secondment. Let's have a look at how is the EU contribution for the IF projects. So these IF projects are based on what we call unit cost per month. So basically, we have two types of unit costs that are attached to the researchers and to the institutions. So the first type that you see on the left column is those unit costs that are attached to the researchers. It is composed of a living allowance of 4,880 euros that is adjusted on the basis of a country coefficient that reflect the living standards of the country. To give you an idea, for Turkey, it's with the country coefficient, it's 4,000 euros. On top of which, you will be entitled to get mobility allowance to cover the personal mobility costs. And for those researchers that are married, that are engaged in a civil partnerships, or that have kids, there will be the possibility to have an extra 500,000 euro allowance. Those costs attached to the researchers are gross, in a sense that it includes the net salary, but also the employer contribution and the employee contribution to the social security system, the pension system, the health insurance, and etc. The second type of cost that we have are the institutional costs that are divided in two categories. First of all, the research training and networking costs of 800 euros per month that are there to support you in your research and can fund, for instance, small lab equipments, participation to conferences, to pay training fees, or to pay those fees that are linked to the publication of articles. And finally, we have the management and indirect cost of 650 euros that are due to the host organization. And in case of agreement, there is also the possibility to use this sum to top up on the salary of the researcher. So now that we have seen the main feature, that we have seen what are the typical activities for IF projects, let's have a look at the call for 2020 and to see what are the different eligibility conditions. So as mentioned by Eleni, the individual fellowship scheme is divided in two pillars, the European fellowship pillars and the global fellowship pillars that you can see on the right side of the slide. The global fellowships intends to support mobility outside Europe in the first stage, and a mandatory return phase of 12 months in a host institution that is located in a member state or in an associated country. And for this, we will have a budget of 55 million this year. Then we have the second pillar of the IF scheme, which is the European fellowship, which is divided in four types of actions. We have the standard scheme, which supports intra-European mobility and mobility from outside Europe to Europe. It is the scheme that attracts the most, biggest number of applications. Then we also have the career and restart panel, which aims at supporting those researchers that had a career break in order to help them to resume their career in research. Then we have the reintegration panel that will support researchers that have left Europe but would like to come back to perform their research in Europe. And finally, the society and enterprise panel that will more specifically support those fellows that would like to undertake their fellowship in a non-academic institution. And for the last one, we will have a dedicated budget of 10 million euros. So overall, for the European Fellowship and the Global Fellowship pillar, we will have a total budget this year available of 328 million, on top of which we will have 7 million for the widening fellowship, but I'll come back to that. So European fellowship, now let's go into the details. So all the type of action that I have described are subject to eligibility rules. All of them have eligibility conditions that are linked to mobility. My closed category program is a mobility scheme. We have, in some cases, for the reintegration grant and the global fellowship, some long-term residence eligibility conditions for the nationals that are not from a member state or an associated country. And finally, we have some specific eligibility conditions linked to the specificities of the panel. Typically, the society and enterprise should take place in a non-academic institution, and for the career break, you should demonstrate career break in your applications. So let's go now to the details of the different schemes. Next slide, please. Thank you. You can, so the European fellowships, you can go to next slide, please. So this is the first type of action under the European fellowship, which is the standard panel that attracts 2/3 of the application, basically. And here we have one eligibility condition in terms of mobility, which is that the researchers should not have spent more than a year over the past 3 years before the call deadline in the country of the host institution with which is or is she applying. The standard panel will be divided in 8 scientific panels. That your proposal, you will have to choose to which scientific panel you would like to apply, and you also have to provide some keywords in order to help us to identify the right expertise. So there will be 8 scientific ranking lists under the standard panel. Next slide, please. The second type of action under the European Fellowship pillar is the Career Restart panel, which aims at supporting those researchers that had a career break for personal reason, meaning health issues, parental leave, that have been unemployed or that were employed outside research, but would like to resume their career in research. So for those, we have a specific panel in order to support those type of profiles. It is a multidisciplinary panel, meaning that all scientific fields are will be ranked under this Career Restart panel. The mobility rule in that case is that the researcher should not have spent more than 3 years over the past 5 years before the call deadline in the country of the host institution. And the specificity linked to the career break is that we will ask the researchers to explain that they had a career break of at least 12 consecutive months over the past 18 months before the call deadline. Next slide, please. The third type of action under the European Fellowship is the reintegration panel, which aims at supporting those researchers that left Europe but would like to come back in the European research area in order to perform their research. Here, the mobility rule is that there should be a direct mobility, and the researcher should not have spent more than 3 years over the past 5 years before the call deadline in the country of the host institution. The second eligibility condition is linked to the nationality. It is open to nationals from member states, UK, or associated countries. And for those third country nationals, there is an extra eligibility condition. They can still apply, provided that they can demonstrate that they have lived 5 consecutive years as long-term resident in Europe before leaving Europe. Again, this one will also be a multidisciplinary panel. And now going to the fourth and last type of action under the European Fellowship pillar, the Society and Enterprise, that has a dedicated budget of 10 million. Here, the mobility rule is that the researcher should not have spent more than 3 years over the past 5 years in the country of the host institution. And the condition is also that the host institution should be non-academic, meaning that the institution should not be a higher education that delivers institution that delivers diploma, or should not be a research institution that is non-for-profit and that is as a primary goal to perform research. And again, there will be a multidisciplinary panel. So all the proposals submitted under the Society and Enterprise will compete among each other. Now that we have seen the different type of actions, the standard panel, the reintegration panel, the career restart, and the Society and Enterprise, let's go to the second pillar of the individual fellowship scheme, which is the global fellowship. So in the case of the global fellowship, the projects are based on two phases. There is one outgoing phase that is supporting the mobility of the researchers to a third country outside Europe for a duration from 12 to 24 months. And then there is in a partner organization that has to be identified in the proposals, and for which you will have to provide a commitment letter from this institution that will explain and that will confirm the willingness of this institution to host you and to provide you all the necessary support in order to carry out your research in their institution. The institution will also have to appoint you a supervisor for this outgoing phase in the third country outside Europe. And then you will also have to go through a mandatory return phase in Europe in an institution that is located in a member state, in UK or in an associated country like Turkey. This return phase that is mandatory and should last 12 months. And it will be the host institution that is located in Europe that will be responsible for submitting the proposal. So here, the eligibility conditions for the global fellowship. The mobility rule here is that the researcher should not have spent more than 1 year over the past 3 years in the third country in which he or she intends to carry out his outgoing phase. And there is also an extra conditions linked to nationality. It is open to nationals from member states, UK or associated country. But for those third country nationals, they can still apply provided that they are able to demonstrate that they have been long-term residents for 5 consecutive years in European country. So now that we have seen the different type of actions that are available under the European Fellowship and the Global Fellowship, let's have a look at the widening fellowships. Next slide, please. No, sorry. Okay. No, before. So here, this is the complex summary table that was mentioned by Eleni, and that should be much more simple in the future. This table summarizes the type of action, the eligibility condition, the duration of that is allowed for the project, the scientific, the number of panels of ranking lists per action, and the budget available. Then next slide, we can see what is the schedule, the time schedule for the call. So the call has opened on the 8th of April, so meaning that you are able now to prepare and to submit your proposal. Next slide, please. The call will close on the 9th of September at 5, meaning that if you try to submit at 5:15, you will not be able to submit your proposal. And I really encourage you to anticipate as much as possible the submission before that date in order to avoid last-minute technical problem that would unfortunately prevent you from submitting. So the evaluation will come back on the time will October, December, and to inform all applicants about the results at the end of January, beginning of February, and projects will be able to start as of 1st of March 2021 until the 1st September 2020. So now that we have seen the main features of the IF call, that we have gone through what is the characteristic of a typical IF project, that we have described the type of action available under the IF scheme, let's go to see what is the widening fellowships scheme. So the widening fellowships is an extra budget that is available for those proposals that were submitted to the IF call but were not successful, but were submitted to the European Fellowship Pillar by an institution that is located in a widening country. I will show you later on the list of widening countries, and in which belongs Turkey. So you have nothing to do. Basically, if you submit your proposal with a host institution located in a widening country, like for instance Turkey, you have nothing to do but ticking a box saying that you agree to have your proposal transferred to the widening scheme. You don't have to resubmit to write a new proposal. You don't have to resubmit a new application. This is an extra opportunity, an extra budget that is available to proposals submitted by host institution located in a widening country. So next slide, please. So, and this is really an extra chance of being funded quite easily by just ticking a box if you submit with a host institution that is eligible. Let me go to the next slide, please. So the idea is that we will have a 7 million euro budget available this year for this call, meaning that we will be able to fund some 45 extra projects submitted by host institutions that are located in one of the widening countries that you can see on the slide, and in which belongs Turkey. Next slide, please. So the evaluation, in order to be eligible, the proposal should have been submitted under the European Fellowships Pillar, Global Fellowship is excluded, under the IF call, by a host organization that is located in a widening country. The proposal should have obtained a score of minimum 70%. And most importantly, the only thing that you have to do is to agree to have your proposal transferred to the widening fellowship call, in case you are not successful in the IF call. And for this, you will just have to tick a box. So again, there is no resubmission, there is no need to write a new application. The evaluation will be done through the individual fellowships call. And all applicants will be informed about both results from the IF call and the widening call at the same time, early end of January, beginning of February. Just to give you an idea about the last call, you can go to the next slide. We go to last year we had 444 proposals that qualified for the widening fellowships, meaning that they were not successful in IF, that they got the minimum score of 70%, and that they were submitted by host institution located in widening. We funded 39 projects covering 10 countries. At the end of the day, the excellence, as you can see in the second box, remained very high, in the sense that the score, the top score on the widening ranking list was 92.6, and the cutoff score, meaning the score of the proposal number 39, was 90.4. Next slide. If you can go to the next slide, please. So if you this is to show you the results, the combined results under IF and widening fellowship goal for the widening country. You can see on the top right, on the right of the graph, that Turkey is in the top 3 of the countries that benefit the most from both schemes. So Turkey had 9 proposals funded under the IF scheme last year, and thanks to the widening fellowships, Turkey had 4 extra projects funded thanks to widening fellowship, representing an increase of 45%. So, in short, the only thing that you have to do in your application is really to tick that box. For data protection issues, we have to ask you this question, to ask you if you want to have extra chance of being funded. This is why you have to tick this box. In case we want to make sure that you tick this box, so in case you say no, you don't answer, you will have some warning at the end before the application. In case you say no, you will have a pop-up box that will ask you if you are really sure that you don't want to participate. So if you want to have this extra chance, just tick that box. So now that we have seen the different type of action, let's go to some slides about statistics, about the call results from last year. The idea is to give you an idea about the success rate, about the performance per country, and to give you an idea about the researcher's profile. So this slide gives you an overall idea about the results from last year. We received almost 10,000 proposals, and we were able to fund 1,475 projects in the end. So it's a very competitive call, for which the overall success rate is 15.15%. In the inner circle, you can see the results for the project funded per type of action. So in deep purple, you can see that 2/3 of the project are funded under the standard action. Then it is followed by the global fellowships with 203 proposals, and then followed by the reintegration panel, then the career restart, and finally the society and enterprise panel. On the top right corner, you can see the success rates per type of action. So as I said, at call level, the success rate is around 15%. For the standard, that is the most demanded panel, the success rate is at 13%. It goes up to 20% for the career restart and reintegration panel, and it goes up to 24% for the global fellowship, and finally the highest success rate is under the society and enterprise panel with a success rate at 27%. Now, if we go to this slide, also is also to encourage those who have submitted a proposal but did not get funded in the previous years. This is to show you that thanks to the feedback that you received with the evaluation report, you are able to improve your proposals. And for those that resubmitted a proposal last year, the success rate went from 15 to 22%. Now, if we go to the next slide, okay, I don't expect you to read this in the detail. This is to give you an idea. You will have the slide, but this is to give you an idea about, first of all the ranking lists that we have. So we have from the right, the 8 scientific ranking lists for the global fellowship, followed by the 8 scientific panels for the standard type of action. And the first 3 columns are the ranking list for the multidisciplinary panel, meaning the career restart, the reintegration, and the society and enterprise. On the first line, you can see what are the cutoff score. meaning that what are the minimum score that were needed to get funded under the different panels. It goes from 82.2 for the lowest under the society and enterprise, up to 94.2, I think, for the global fellowship math panel. And on the last row, you can see the success rate per different ranking lists from last year's results. If we go to the next slide now, this is to give you an idea about the repartition of scientific discipline among the projects that we funded. So as you can see, half among the 1475 projects that we funded in 2019, half of them were coming from life sciences and social science and humanities, followed by on a more equal basis by 4 panels, meaning chemistry, engineering, environmental, and physics. And then we have the smallest panel, economics and mathematics. If we go to the next slide, so the next 3 slides is to give you an idea about the scientific disciplines of the project for the multidisciplinary panel. So for the integration panel, you can see that half of the projects were funded under the life science disciplines. If we go to the next slide, we can see that for the multidisciplinary panel of career action, half of the projects were coming from the social science and humanities. And for the last multidisciplinary panel, society and enterprise, the fields that were most represented were coming from, if you can go to the next slide, I think life science and engineering. Next slide, yeah. So that was to give you an idea about the type of disciplines that are represented in the different panels and at local level. Let's have a look now at the nationality of the host institutions. If you can go to the next slide, please. So here, this is to show you for the European Fellowships pillar, what was the nationality of the host institutions that were submitting the proposals. So you can see over the past 5 years, you can see that despite the Brexit effect, UK remains by far the country that has the biggest number of projects funded. It is followed by Spain and France. And if you go to the next slide, you can see the results for Turkey. So there is an average, as you can see, over the past 5 years, 8 proposals funded per year under the European Fellowship pillar. Last 2 years, there were 7 projects funded under the European Fellowships pillar. If we go to the next slide, this is to give you an idea about the nationality of the host institution for the global fellowships, the second pillar of the IF scheme. Here you can see the country of origin of the partner institution for the outgoing phase outside Europe. And it is by really far the US that is the preferred destination of the fellows, followed by Canada and Australia. And if we look in the next slide at the nationality of those institutions for the return phase, that are the ones that submit the proposals. The top 3 is composed of Italy, France, and Spain. And Turkey, you can see in the circle in red, managed to have 2 global fellowships funded over the past 2 years for each year. So now that we have seen the scientific discipline, the call results, and the nationality per host institution, let's have a couple of slides on the researcher's profile. This is to give you an idea about the scientific age of the researchers. So in the inner circle, you can see the results for the funded projects. And you can see that almost 2/3 of the project funded were submitted by researchers that had a scientific age of up to 3 years of research experience after their PhD. And it's then the biggest category that is the most successful is those researchers that had research experience of from 4 to 6 years after they obtained their PhD. And then you can see the rest of the detail. On the right, top right corner, you can see the success rate per scientific age. So it goes from 5% for those researchers that had no PhD but could demonstrate at least 4 years of research experience, up to more than 60% for researchers that had up to 3 years of experience after their PhD. And this is to remind you also that the success rate at core level is at 15%. In terms of gender, we are not yet at 50%, but we have women participation in the funded project at 44% in the project that we are funded. So now that we have looked at the statistic, let's go and see how the submission and evaluation process are done. Fine. So if you can go to the next slide, please. So next slide. So the evaluation is done online. So the submission is done online. And the application form is composed of 2 parts. The part A, which is actually done through online encoding, where you will be asked to provide your personal details about the supervisor, the details about the host institutions, to explain also to provide all the details on your scientific careers, the date of obtention of your PhD. This is where you will also encode all the data that are needed for us to assess the eligibility of your proposals, in particular for the mobility criteria. And this is where you will have the call-specific questions. This is where you will find the question on the widening fellowships, for instance. And this is where you will also encode all the data needed for the career restart and your career break details. So this is an online part where you will encode all those data. And then you have the part B that will be the core of your proposal. This is this is where you will describe your research project. If you can go to the next slide, please. So the part B is articulated, composed of 2 parts, part B1 and part B2. Part B1 is really the core of your proposal, and it's articulated against the evaluation criteria. And there is a maximum page limit of 10 pages. And I really draw your attention on the fact that it's important that you stick to this 10 pages limit. Any page that will go above will not be made accessible to the expert evaluators. So really stick to those pages. It would be a pity that all your preparatory work would be wasted if you go above. There is no need to have a cover page or to have a table of content, just follow the template. The part B is composed of a second part, the part B2, that's where you will have to provide, there is no page limit there. There you will have to provide your CV. It has to be also consistent with the data that you encode online in the part A. This is where you will also describe the capacities of the participating organization, meaning the host institution, obviously, but also the partner organization in case of a global fellowship, or to describe describe as well where you intend to have secondments, if you intend to have secondments. In the part B2, you will also have to explain how you will address the ethical aspects of your research project. And finally, you will this is where also where you will upload the letter of commitment for the global fellowships of the partner organization, and you will find a template in the guide for applicants. It's not mandatory, but this is to give you an idea of what is expected. And I really draw your attention on the fact that it's really important that you have this letter of commitment, as it is a condition of admissibility for the global fellowship. And in this letter of commitment, there should be a clear statement, and we should clearly see that the host institution is ready to host you and provide you the necessary support to carry out your research project. You can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, next slide, please. So now the evaluation process. The evaluation, all your proposals will be assessed by 3 independent experts evaluators. All of them will draw an individual assessment report of your proposal, and then there will be a consensus phase. Among the 3 experts, there will be appointed 1 rapporteur that will be responsible to organize and to reach a consensus on the evaluation of the proposal. So the evaluators will have to agree first on the comments against the evaluation criteria for your proposal, and in the second stage they will have to agree on a score. And at the end of the day, it will be the score that will determine in which position on the ranking list your proposal will be, and if you will get funded or not. All applicants will receive the evaluation summary report together with the results of the call at the end of January, beginning of February. So you can go to the next call, please. The next page. So this is to give you an idea about the timeline. So as soon as you submit your proposal, we at the Research Executive Agency, start to proceed with the admissibility and eligibility check. Then we are mobilizing super experts that we call vice chairs, that will help us to allocate your proposals to the experts with the right expertise. So this is very important that that you identify the right keywords in your proposal in order to facilitate this allocation of experts to your proposal. So once this allocation of experts to the proposal is done, we end up with 3 experts, including a rapporteur, that will draft the individual evaluation report in October. In November, there will be consensus discussions. Once the 3 experts have reached a consensus, sometimes with the help of the vice chairs that are monitoring the discussion, they will end up with an evaluation summary report. There will be further quality check that will be done, and in December we close the evaluation with the ranking list, the establishment of the ranking list done by the vice chairs, and we inform the applicants end of January, beginning of February. So to give you an idea, last year we mobilized 3,600 experts to assess all the almost 10,000 proposals that we have received. And we also, can go to the next slide, please. We also mobilized 450 chairs that helped us for the allocation of the proposals, for the monitoring of the discussion, and for establishing the ranking list and for the quality check of the evaluation summary reports. You can go to the next slide, please. Next one. And we also have an independent observer that is monitoring the evaluation process and that provide advice and recommendation in order to allow us to improve our evaluation process over the years. You go to the next slide. A word on the evaluation criteria. So we have three types of evaluation criteria that are excellence, impact, and implementation. So under excellence, the first criteria will look at really at the scientific aspects of your project. To what extent you describe the state of the art, how you intend to go beyond the state of the art, is your methodology credible? All those type of aspects. Then the second sub-criteria linked to excellence will look at the quality and the appropriateness of the training that is envisaged, and also at the knowledge transfer that is foreseen, not only from your host institution to you as a researcher, but also what you can bring as researcher to the lab that will host you during the project. The third type of excellence criteria will have to do with the quality of the supervision. There we will experts will look at the profile of the supervisor and what type of arrangements are foreseen during the project in terms of supervision and integration in your lab, in your host institution. The fourth excellence criteria will be linked to the potential that the proposal will bring you in terms of increasing your maturity and independence and autonomy during the fellowship, while under the first impact criteria, experts will look at the impact on your career prospects in the long run of the project. The second type of evaluation criteria under impact, we look at the dissemination and exploitation plans that you have for your project. That has to be tailored to the specificity of your project towards the scientific community, but also if relevant to commercialization of the results. And the third impact criteria will look at how you intend to disseminate the results of your project beyond the scientific community to the public at large. Looking now at the third type of evaluation criteria that we have, the experts will look first at the quality of your and the coherence of your work plan. Are the work packages well arranged? Are the resources appropriately allocated to the different work packages? Do you have foreseen milestones, deliverables? The second type of implementation award criteria will look at the quality of the management structure that you have put in place for your project, and as well at the risk management. Have you identified risk? Are those risks well assessed, and have you foreseen mitigation measures to address those risks in case they happen? And finally, experts evaluators will look at the appropriateness of the overall institutional environment, meaning that you will have access to all the necessary infrastructure within the host institution. So if we go to the next slides, so the evaluation criteria, the three excellence, impact, and implementation will be assessed with a score of 5, up to 5 with decimals. There is a weighting for the different evaluation criteria: 50% for excellence, 30% for impact, and 20% for implementation. Here I would like to maybe draw your attention on the fact that although excellence remain important because it's the core objective of the MSCA action, and because the weighting is 50%, please do not neglect the other sub-criteria, because at the end of the day, as I said, there are decimals for the scores, and that will be decimals that will make the difference for those projects that are funded and those that are put on the reserve list. Next slide, please. There is, if you want to have more detail, if you're not yet familiar, I invite you to really have the guide for applicants. This is the documents that explain in even more detail what I've just presented. It guides you through all the process and explain to you what is expected under each section of the application form, and it gives all the details on about the eligibility criteria. So it's really, if there's one document you should keep next to you when applying, it's this one. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, next slide. And okay, so I will then I will have a series of links. You can go to the end of the presentation. I will stop here because I'm a bit over time. Sorry for that. I really encourage you to submit the proposals, keeping in mind that you will have a second chance if you apply with a Turkish organization or widening organization, that you might also have a third chance with the Seal of Excellence. I know it's competitive, but it's also very rewarding, because we have noticed that in our studies that our researchers that got MSCA grant are more successful with the application with the RC, and they have also articles that are more quoted in journals. So I stop here. I apologize for the overtime. I hope it was not too long. If you have any question, I'm happy to take them now or later on, and to leave with Shane. Thank you for your attention.
Dear Sami, thank you very much for your very, very thorough presentation. It was really very useful. Now we have some questions. We tried to answer some of them during your presentation, and some remained unanswered. So if Eleni is also here, I would like both of you to join me answering.
If we can able to right now, just provide the reply afterwards.
Can you tell me again? I couldn't hear you.
In case we are not able to reply now, I was just saying that obviously
yes,
we will provide the reply later.
Definitely. Okay, we had some very specific questions. Mostly asked question is about this 4 years of research experience, as you might all before come across. For example, one of our researchers asked 4 years of research experience. For those, are the periods and the doctorates considered as research experience? What exactly is meant by research experience?
It's active, is performing research. Years during the PhD are considered as a research experience. An activity as a researcher as considered as research experience. We don't have a detailed definition for that. We don't want to restrict too much. So there in the application form, there is a table that applicants can fill in where they can explain in detail the type of what they consider as research experience, and also the time spent as in percentage, in case it was part-time, on research experience. So there is no specific definition. PhD experience counts as research experience.
Yes, and, but as in this question is asked, is their period of doctorate while they still didn't finish the doctorate, is it count as research experience?
Yes.
So they spent 4 years on doctorate, but they didn't finish yet. So they are eligible to apply.
Yes. I will confirm that to you, but I'd say yes.
Yes, okay, if you say so.
But definitely, it's one of the to be confirmed.
Okay. There was a question about secondments. Our researcher wonders if it is better to add secondments or not to add secondments. She asked if what is the percentage of successful project with secondment and without? How crucial it is?
So we don't have statistics about proposals that involve secondments. Secondments are optional, so they're not mandatory, and they have to provide. It should bring a value to the project, the training, to the research activities. So in the end, it should really fit into the training and research activities, and it should be clearly demonstrated the value that is brought by the secondment to the project.
So we can say if they adjust some secondments irrelevant, it will be negatively affect to the project. But if they add some secondment, it is really necessary. They can show it. It is really crucial. We can say.
Yeah, it really has to. It really has to bring value. If it's if it's not relevant, it be involved natively in the website. Yeah. And if it brings value, can security to the end tasks or the implementation phase. If you go to a secondment to get access to some specific research structure, and it brings value, it gets all your dimension effects as well. There's no. It's optional.
If I may also enter and. Indeed, in what subscribing to what Sami said, let us not forget. I know it is everyone is focused on how to enhance the chances, but and I'm sorry that my camera is very dark now. I don't know what happened. It happens in all webinars. But let us not forget that it is. Let us not forget the evaluation criteria that Sami showed, and also what the evaluator will say afterwards will also clarify this. It is the whole proposal that is evaluated.
Yes.
And for us, and I talk now for the Commission, and the Commission has put in place a different, let's say, criteria. And REA is implementing them so that we give a chance for a career development plan and perspective to the researcher. So if the applicant shows that the whole proposal, the whole bunch of what is proposed makes sense, gives an additional perspective to the researcher, gives more ammunition in terms of skills, in terms of competencies, in terms of outreach activities. This would be beneficial, but
yes.
It is not the case of secondment or not secondment. It's a case of whether the secondment is really adding value to the career plan of the proposal.
Okay, our next presentations are about to start, so I will just add 1 or 2 questions and we will have to end this session, but we will be answering the questions from chat part. There are questions about taxes and health insurance. Those have to get from your living allowance, and your host institution have to pay for them because they will be recruiting you. It is very important. You will not be a student or kind of things. You will be recruited by your host institution, so they will have to pay for your taxes and health insurance, but it will be coming from your living allowance. There was a question about if is it possible to prepare a research project in other language than English, for example, French or German? Is it possible?
I can ask. I think, and Sami can because he's frozen. Okay, and can confirm that it is possible, but a summary is needed. An executive summary is needed in English.
Okay. Okay. During the application process, can we upload letters of reference, recommendations in terms of support the proposal submitted?
Yes, you can add this. There is no page limit for the part B2, where you can upload those kind of documents.
Okay, I would like to indicate something with the widening fellowships. It will be only applied to European fellowships. This is important, but it is not a different panel. You will be applying in the same rules, the same everything in those panels. I mean, career panel, standard panel, reintegration, anything, except then global fellowship. You will be doing the same things, but you will just click the option of widening fellowships. So it will become a widening opportunity at this instance. Let's see. Okay, we have a lot of questions, but we don't have time now, so.
This is to confirm also the 4 years experience in case the PhD has not been obtained. Confirm.
What, confirm?
That in case the PhD has not been obtained, but the researcher has spent 4 years doing his PhD, it is eligible.
Okay.
It is considered as an experienced research.
Oh, okay, great, great. For the global fellowship applications, should the letter of commitment be signed by the supervisor, the head of the faculty institute, or the rector of the university?
You can see in the guide for applicants, there should be someone that is ideally by the supervisor. Let me check.
There is a very specific questions. Can the PhD supervisor become a supervisor or else participating scientists? And can the researcher go back for short-term visits to the organization in which the PhD was acquired?
I'm not sure I get the question.
Yeah, I didn't either. I guess.
Can a PhD be supervisor? Is that the question? Can a
yes, PhD supervisor become a co-supervisor? And can the researcher go back for a short-term visit to the organization in which the PhD was acquired? I guess the main question is about if they can visit their university during the project as a short-term visit. I think it's possible.
You mean their previous university?
Yes, where they acquired their PhD.
Yes, provided it makes sense with the overall activity of the project.
They also can choose this university as their secondment place, right?
They can choose it as a secondment if it makes sense, again, in the context and it brings value to the project.
Okay, I will.
So usually secondments are really to get access to specific infrastructure or to deepen collaboration with academic groups or to go to the non-academic sectors in companies, for instance, in order to start exploring the possibility of exploitation of results. These are the type of things that we see in secondments.
Okay, I will ask one more question and we will have to end this session. We will not have time for a break, I guess. I had a really very interesting question. Okay, What would scientifically younger generation imply? There is a question like this while Eleni was presenting. What would scientifically younger generation imply? Eleni, we cannot hear. I'm sorry. Yes, now we can hear.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Yes, this came as a value, let's say, as a cross-cutting issue for the upcoming proposals. So, as I said before, still are proposals. It does not apply to the current call of individual fellowships, but the focus will be on the younger generation in terms of scientific age, meaning after having obtained a PhD, a maximum number of years in research. We are currently thinking of a threshold of 6 years, which we are still discussing with the committee members, with the program committee members, and with the different stakeholders. So this is what it entails. But as I said before, these are proposals, and we should take into consideration that that this would be scientific age and not actual age. So years spent in research.
Okay, I guess
since
yes.
I have now the floor, let me, because I remember I saw in the beginning a question about the difference between individual fellowships and postdoctoral fellowships. I'm not sure if I got it correctly, but just to clarify that currently the action is individual fellowships, and this is what we discussed right now on the call that it's taking place and it will be open until April. But the proposal for Horizon Europe, so from 2021, is to be renamed into postdoctoral fellowships. So that's the difference. The individual fellowships are presently, and the future will be postdoctoral fellowships, if these proposals are accepted.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sami, Eleni. It was a very, very useful presentation. We will be answering our researchers' questions during the other sessions. And you gave them some also contacts that they can ask questions, so they can also contact with these addresses. I guess it was really fruitful, and I really hope we will be meeting face to face in some really sooner future. Okay, thank you very much. Would you like to add anything?
Sorry?
Would you like to add anything?
No, thank you. And we remain at disposal to provide you, maybe through you, the questions that are not answered.
What do you mean?
We remain at your disposal for the question that
yes.
remain.
Yes, of course, of course, of course. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for organizing it and for inviting us.
And thank you very much for your participation. We will be giving a 5-minute break since we are very late with the other sessions. So have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dear guests, we will be following with the experts' presentations in 5 minutes. Maybe you will need to catch your breath or drink some water. Let's take 5. We will be here at 45. Dear guests, welcome back. We will start the second part of our event with Dr. Cengiz Acartürk to learn more about how the evaluators are advising about successful proposal writing. I will give the floor to Cengiz Acartürk right now.
Okay, good. Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Cengiz. May I share my screen?
Yes, yes, you can share.
Okay, let me also do that. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I hope you now see that.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, nice. Well, I'm a faculty member at the Middle East Technical University since 2012, and my Marie Curie Fellowship goes back to 2011, 2010. But very briefly, from the perspective of this talk, it is I will be presenting my experience not as a scholar but as a expert evaluator in this IF calls. And sorry, okay, good. So I guess you have already been talking about the logistics of or the framework of the call. It is there are different types: global fellowships, European fellowships, but actually it doesn't matter from the perspective of content evaluation. So I will be focusing more on the aspects that I noticed when I did the evaluation. Very briefly, the chances of being successful is not high actually, but the thing is that it is getting lower and lower. But in turn, what we have been facing is resubmissions. So the first message that I want to give is that if you make an application, then if you become unsuccessful, then don't hesitate to repeat your application, improve it, and do it again, try it again. So this is kind of a heuristic that I have learned during the time that I spent for these evaluations for European Union. But very briefly, of course, in this talk, I will focus on the set of tips, clues that would increase your success, at least your chances of being successful. There are scientific panels in the evaluator side too, but an evaluator may be involved more than one scientific panel, but as of my knowledge, a proposal is submitted in one of those panels, but it doesn't matter. What I have done so far is that I have been an expert evaluator. Then if you are an expert evaluator, there are chances that you will also be an expert rapporteur, and I will explain this terminology in a minute. And then I have also taken a role as a vice chair in IF calls as well as in other calls like future emerging technologies and so on. So it has been a good chance for me too to observe all the process from the beginning, from the application to the final, very final evaluation, where the results are announced to this committee of vice chairs and chairs. And there are also ethics experts and independent observers, which are not very crucial in the beginning. I mean, they don't have a very direct impact on the evaluation process. So these three roles on the top are more important. And this is the important thing. Expert evaluator is a person who prepares the first report. So the responsibility of an expert evaluator is to read the application carefully and write a report, evaluation report. And this evaluation report is written by following an assessment grid. Assessment grid is public. All what I present here is public, so you can find them in Horizon 2020 evaluation website. Or call site, you may find this documentation. But very briefly, there are certain items. This is kind of a checklist, And as an evaluator, your responsibility is to find a match between the checklist items and the content of the proposal. It is not a straightforward task, but this is what we mainly do. And usually we are assigned between 3 to 10 project applications per call, and this is part of remote evaluation. So a reporter is one of the evaluators. So the first stage is that there are 3 expert evaluators. They submit their individual evaluation reports. Then one of them becomes the reporter. The responsibility of this expert evaluator is to read all of these individual evaluation reports submitted by individual experts and make them coherent. So this coherent thing is called the consensus report. So individual evaluation reports are not sent directly to the applicant. So they are modified step by step. This is the first step. The reporter prepares a consensus report, which kind of brings together what expert evaluators say, and it also resolves contradictions. So this is actually quite a responsible situation, because there are cases in which evaluators may not agree on one topic or the other, one sub-criteria or the other. The responsibility of the rapporteur is to resolve these conflicts, and it is done by written discussion, and we call this the consensus phase. And sometimes it is necessary that the rapporteur consults the vice chair. Vice chair is the monitoring person. The responsibility of vice chair is to monitor the evaluation process, and the vice chair follows how experts prepare individual evaluation reports and how the consensus reports are developed. And so this is kind of a quality check to make sure that the report that will be handled to the applicant is consistent. It doesn't have, or it doesn't include any contradictory statements. So finally, the chair is the lead. I mean, the chair is doing the overall monitoring process. And in vice chair meetings, at least in my case, we were 12 vice chairs in one of the calls, or there are groups of 4 or 5 vice chairs, and they also discuss the evaluations and consensus reports, because eventually what we want to have is an evaluation summary report. This is what the applicant receives, an evaluation summary report, and it should be non-contradictory and high quality report. And there are also independent observers. Independent observers do not make any comment. They just monitor. They just watch. They just simply observe the evaluation process, and they report it to research executive agency in case of any suggestions for improvements. And of course, all the process is done by REA, Research Executive Agency staff members. They carry the huge administrative work. But their role increases by the end of the evaluation. I mean, at the beginning, first they distribute or allocate all the projects to relevant scientific panels. After that, towards the end, they start working with vice chairs and chairs to be able to finalize the evaluation process. Okay, so this is the procedure. To sum up again, what's happening is that you make your application, there's kind of eligibility, admissibility check. Then there is an allocation of experts and proposals. And there are contracts. Vice chairs are following the process. First reports are prepared, individual evaluation reports, and then consensus reports are prepared. Each of these processes taking kind of several weeks. I mean, you usually have 3-4 weeks to finish your individual evaluation report. Then consensus phase also takes like 2 to 3 weeks. Then eventually, step by step, it goes to the vice chair panel, and eventually vice chairs perform their quality checks, and final decisions are made in Brussels. So overall, this process it took like 1 year past year. And in 2018, it was also similar. I mean, more or less this flow is let's say this mainstream flow is similar in IF course. So, okay, this is the whole picture. Evaluators start writing individual evaluation reports. This is quite fair. I mean, you have 3 individual evaluation reports, then they generate consensus report. There is an approval step, then quality control, 2 times quality control. I will skip the details. So this is quite an well-designed process, because it is not that there is a single vice chair and she is monitoring all the process, but there are multiple vice chairs and they make kind of a cross exchanges of the projects for quality control. So this is quite a complicated process, but eventually the goal is to guarantee a fair evaluation. And in my opinion, it is more or less fair. I mean, you also observe it as an outsider. Okay. When you write the proposal, you should keep in mind that the highest score or the weight will be assigned to excellence. This means that your project should be scientifically valuable. And this should also be an indication to the number of pages that you may spend to write your proposal. So more or less, there's a strong correlation. I mean, if there is 10 pages of project application, 5 pages more or less excellence, it is not fixed, but common practices that 5 pages to 3 pages, 2 pages, and so on and so forth, okay? So these are the weights. And it is important to understand what is meant by impact and what is meant by excellence. So this is not Turkish translation basically, but you should follow the guidelines very closely and read the criteria for evaluation very carefully, because this is the cross-check, I mean, list, the guidelines. This is what also evaluators are doing. And now I will mention what are those concepts, and I will be focusing on frequent mistakes that the applicants make. And again, another practical information is that usually if you have a score of 5 or 4.9 or 4.8 and sometimes 4.7, you become successful. So all the scores below, it is very high chances that you will not be successful. But here the thing is this, you should have, again, this is a practical thing. I don't say that this is a rule. Please don't misunderstand that. Practically, if your score in one of those item excellence impact implementation is 5, it says that actually your project was quite successful in the evaluation. You may not be funded, but try to, this is, you should try to improve your proposal if you get scores like 4.5, 4.6, 4, 4.3 in your first application. So because as you improve the scores depending on the ESR, I mean summary report, the first time, the next time you will get a higher score, because the guidelines are more or less similar between years, okay, evaluation guidelines. And let me start with this excellence thing. Excellence, don't be misled by Turkish translation. It means it is about quality and novelty of the research. And since they're very specific to this call, training activities in the project is very important. And the capacity of the researcher is important. So it is not always possible, of course, but your record of achievements and publications, this is important. And your scientific supervisor, your quality of scientific supervisor is important. So don't simply assume that even if you are very successful in your publication report, if you aim at a supervisor who does not have a good publication report, then your chances of being accepted or getting the funding is it may be less than finding a supervisor with a good publication report. So these are facts. I mean, this is what the evaluators are looking at. So there are sub-criteria. There are 4 sub-criteria only for the excellence section. Your responsibility is to read them carefully and to check if you address them in the proposal. And the most important clue, in my opinion, is to read these guidelines word by word, because this is what the reviewers are doing. So for instance, the reviewer will check if you mention the state of the art. The state of the art means literature. So you should describe the literature, what is done in your field. So I have come across many applications without any presentation of the state of, they have no chances. They're directly eliminated. They get very low scores if you don't address what is done in your field of research. So this is literature review. And this literature review should be connected to the objectives. So this tells us that you should write explicitly that the objective of this project is to number 1, or another objective is to do this and that. And so these 2 are very important. So the reviewer should see, the evaluator should see what is the state of the art, how do you present the state of the art, and what are the objectives that carry your career beyond the state of the art. So this is, you may call it the added value if you like, but this is very important to see this at the very beginning of the proposal. And again, in my opinion, many expert evaluators have a quick impression of the proposal when they read the first page. So this is an experience. Again, I would say that these are not official kind of announcements, but I would strongly recommend that you write the first page much more carefully than the other parts. What I mean is this: when you finish writing the proposal, go back, ask someone else to read the proposal, at least the first few pages, and check this for language, stylistics, for English editing, etc. But it is very important that the evaluator should see the state of the art and objects very clearly and explicitly. And research methodology, more or less everybody is doing that very well. I mean, if you are making your application, and the space is always limited and the number of pages is not enough, definitely, but research methodology is usually fine. And because you are not able to give all the details of the research methodology, but the reviewers or evaluators are also aware of this. But what is important is to convince the reviewer that this is an original research and it is innovative. So then it means that you should write explicitly that the originality of this proposal is that, and the proposal is innovative in sense that, or the proposal is innovative in that, or this aspect of the proposal is innovative because, so this type of phrases are important. And also interdisciplinary aspects. This is a bit tricky because what is interdisciplinary is a question by itself, but very briefly, it is if you are doing a specific work on biology, you should either say explicitly that this work focuses on this and this sub-disciplines in biology, and if you have any interdisciplinary perspective, you have to push that strongly. But I have seen many successful proposals which were not interdisciplinary actually. So this is the message here. I mean, interdisciplinary aspects, people are aware that it is not always possible. So don't enforce it. I mean, if it is interdisciplinary by its nature, it is fine. But if it is a very high quality proposal without an interdisciplinary aspect, then don't try to give a fishy representation that you are interdisciplinary. So it is then loses or scores due to its lacking soundness of the research. And this gender aspects, it changes every year. I mean, the final decision was that if it is relevant, mention that. For instance, if you are going to collect human data, then you have to, of course, address gender aspects. But if it is not relevant, it is not necessary to make it up. Okay, so this is I think important. This is one of the sub-criteria under the excellence session. So read these phrases carefully and check how much you address all these items in your proposal. And these orange arrows only show the common mistakes that the applicants do. One important thing when you write the quality and appropriateness of the training is that you should mention two-way transfer of knowledge. So the mistake is this: the applicant usually writes, I will go to that host institution and I will learn a lot, and this will be the skills that I'm going to, etc. But what you are going to give to that institution, this is also very important. So it is difficult to write it, because if you are going to a very well developed institution, then okay, you may ask yourself what I'm going to do for them, but you should find some, or you should at least have some contribution to the institution. So it is important. This is one of the most frequently made mistakes. The applicants present one-way transfer of knowledge, which is not enough. And there, in other sub-criteria, one, I said that supervisor level of experience is important. This means that very explicitly, if your supervisor is a new postdoc with very low publication record quality, then this reduces your chances of being accepted. So you may be unhappy of this. I mean, maybe the supervisor will be a genius or very well-known scientist in near future. Okay, but you just have to, as an evaluator, you have a responsibility to check the current situation. So supervisor should be a senior one if possible. And another thing, another important point is that especially in this quality of the supervisor and integration thing, some of them should be measurable. This measurableness is more important in the impact section, but what is meant here by the measure is that to be able to integrate it into the institution, for instance, you may say that, okay, you are going to organize workshops and you are going to give seminars in different departments. You will go to other disciplines, other areas of expertise, and you will learn from them. You will also transfer your knowledge and skills to them. So this kind of measures. So this is this can be kind of checked. I mean, if you do this, then the evaluators may be convinced that, okay, this guy thought about this plan in concrete terms. And so the others, international networking, these are straightforward, because you can say that you will go to conference instead of international networking. And actually, this is one of the major goals of IF scholarships. The last sub-criteria under the excellence is that there are two things. This is why I am emphasizing this. Here you have to write how this funding will contribute to your professional development during the fellowship. Then in another section, there's a relevant item which says that it is about career development. It is something different. So it is about what you're going to do after the fellowship. But here, during the fellowship, for instance, you may say that you will make publications, you will learn how to supervise thesis, and you will learn how to work in a theme, etc., etc. So you should focus on that. You should write what you will do during the fellowship for your career development. And what are the new competences? This is more or less straightforward. So you will learn, for instance, using this lab equipment, etc. Okay. So again, you see that don't be discouraged, because I have also seen many researchers, applicants who have more or less not strong track of record, but they became successful because this is an overall evaluation of the project. Okay, so this is important. So you are not hit by one weakness, but overall, if your project is very well written, if its scientific value is high, then people or evaluators may say that, okay, recently this is a young person, maybe, or let's, what I mean by young is kind of early stage researcher. But then there is huge potential in the topic, and the host and the supervisor, when they come together, she may become successful. So this fellowship then has a great potential for the added value. So don't be discouraged by specific weaknesses, but your overall quality of the proposal is very important. Impact section is the second part of it. It has 30% weight, and this is the section where the applicants lose the highest score. I mean, so this is the weakness in many applications, because usually researchers focus on excellence. So they believe that incorrectly, if they present a scientifically excellent proposal, it will get accepted. But no, if your excellence score is 5, then psychology is the evaluator. Is that okay if I want to criticize this application? I will have a more careful reading in the impact section, okay? Because it is not easy for an evaluator to assign a score of 5, 5, and 5 to all 3 sections. So there are proposals as such, but it is mostly the case that if you assign a score of 5 to excellence, then you read the impact section more carefully than you would do otherwise, okay? So this is kind of psychology that the evaluators may have. So read about this carefully when you write your proposal. In the impact section, the first thing that you address is what are the impacts of this fellowship to your future career. But the second thing is you should be clear about the added value of the fellowship on the future career. I mean, if you are here an assistant, research assistant, then if you go to the fellowship and come back and continue as a research assistant, this is not good. You don't know what is going to happen. So you may say that, okay, I'm a research assistant, but I will go, or then when I go back, when I come back, or when I go to another country, I will set up a lab, I will set up a research group, I will be a leading researcher in this domain, etc. So this is what is expected. And exploitation and dissemination are the 2 terms that applicants are mostly unaware of. These are very important. So dissemination means more than publications. Publication is academic dissemination. Exploitation is about the outcomes of the project. I mean, during the course of the project, you will have dissemination activities, and these dissemination activities should address multiple stakeholders. I mean, it is not only the scientific community, but it is also the public that you will conduct demo days, you will be included in researchers' night, for instance. Then you will go to other cities in the country and present your work to college students, etc. So just for example, you may do this. But exploitation is after the implementation of the project. So try to understand this terminology very carefully. I mean, one thing is to identify what are your targeting peers, stakeholders. The other is how you are going to make this dissemination, how you are going to match these stakeholders with your project. And you should write them down in the impact section. Then these items should be addressed in the Gantt chart too. If you don't have a Gantt chart, you have 0 chances to get accepted or to get this fellowship. Okay, it is important. And you should have deliverables and a dissemination plan and milestones in the Gantt chart, which gives the impression or convinces the evaluator that, okay, this guy knows what she is doing. I mean, she's very concrete, clear, and very well planned research is going to be conducted. Okay, non-specialist presentation of the project progress is important, and I mentioned about concrete planning. Okay, the third is implementation. It is the least important part. But if you make a mistake here, then you will lose scores. So if you got score of 5 in excellence and score of 5 in impact, it is very likely that you will get a high score in implementation. But if you make a mistake, you may have a lower score than you expect. So this is again a personal impression that I have. I don't know whether it is generalizable. Okay, it is my own impression. But I said that a Gantt chart is very important. You will already have deliverables, milestones. These are very, very explicit. The common mistake here is that the number of person months should be consistent. You should not make any logical mistake when you design your chart. For instance, the reviewer evaluator is going to look at for logical contradictions. If one of your work packages start before the other work package ends in an inconsistent way. It is also, you should not have a linear structure. I mean, the work packages, of course, are going to overlap. But if there is any logical contradiction there, you will see it as a question in individual evaluation reports. I mean, a comment. So there is, I mean, it is not comprehensible. So there is a mistake here, then you will lose it. Okay, so be very careful, be realistic in designing your Gantt chart and work packages. And when you, for instance, there is an explicit question which says that, is allocation of person months reasonable? It should be reasonable, so it should be realistic. And another thing that usually applicants skip is that there should be a progress monitoring mechanism, which means that you shouldn't write, I will monitor my own progress. My supervisor is going to monitor. It's okay, it's already expected. But an idea may be that you may say that, okay, this progress monitoring mechanism will be done by a, let's say, consultation committee too, in addition to my supervisor, you may say. Okay? And also, if you don't have a contingency plan, risk planning, you again lose scores from the lack of contingency plan. Okay, this is most straightforward. I mean, the last item, institutional environment. If you go to the university, universities have documents prepared for that purpose. They have brief descriptions of logistics and facilities. But here the thing is this: you should write down the logistics and facilities which are relevant to your research. I mean, it is not a good idea to write that this is a wonderful university, they have everything. So this type of generic statements is also another cause of loss of scores. Okay, so sometimes evaluators say that, look, this is the description of impact section, or the description of the institutional environment, this is too much generic, they may say sometimes. But usually this is quite straightforward parts of the proposals. Okay, I stop here. It has been, I guess, 30 minutes. Thank you very much. Now I should, I guess, stop screen share, or Shema, would you like to mention about the questions?
Dear Mr. Acarczyk, thank you very much. I guess it was really, really useful. As I see from the feedbacks, they find it very useful.
I have not seen the chat, by the way, during the presentation. So
yes.
You like to,
we will have a special Q&A session at the end of our presentations.
Okay.
If it's possible for you to stay until that, we can answer together, because we already answered nearly all of the questions right now. But if we will have more questions during the other presentations, we can answer them all together at the end.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now I would like to invite Dr. Özgür Atalay. He has already been funded via MSCA Individual Fellowship. Now he has implemented his Marie Curie project at Istanbul Technical University, and his experience are really important to hear. 1 minute, I will unmute you. Dear Mr. Atalay. Okay, fine. Okay. Now we can,
Yeah.
great, great. Welcome again,
Yeah,
and the
welcome.
floor is yours.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you and see you perfectly.
Okay, so I will share my screen actually
Yes,
for my presentation.
please, thank you very much.
Yes, so just a second. Okay. So actually, thanks to TÜBİTAK for this great event. So I would like also thanks to Ms. Şeyma Sayımlar for her kind invitation to be here. So just let you know, I'm working as a Marie Curie Fellow at Istanbul Technical University. So today I will share some tips how to write a winning Marie Curie proposal. And I will start to give brief information about my background and some part of the proposal along with reviewer's scores. So let's start with the CV. So actually I hold a BSc degree from Ege University in the area of textile engineering. Then I hold a MSCA and PhD degree from University of Manchester, England. So specifically I focused on the smart textile area. Then I did a postdoc nearly 2 years at Harvard University in the United States. Then now I'm working as a MSCA fellow of Istanbul Technical University. So actually who considers to apply? From my experience, if you have a strong background and strong proposal and the evaluation is so fair actually, previous presenters already described the evaluation procedure. So there is nothing to prevent you actually getting this fellowship. So I will explain what is the strong background and what is the strong proposal idea in coming slides actually. So from my experience, if I say strong CV, it should be, you have to have multidisciplinary work experience. So for example, in my area, I used to work in electronic textile. So electronic textile is combination of different disciplines like textiles and information science, electrical engineering, even like medicine. So apart from this, you have to like a good track of publications. So you have to publish high impact journals. Maybe these are not really necessary, but they will help you in order to get this fellowship. So international awards always help. So in my experience, I got like one science award in 2016. So if you have some previous project experience and which can show you are able to conduct and then run a projects. And of course, mobility. Before the project, Marie Curie is all about the mobility. So if you show them you have like a mobility before the like this fellowship, this helps you significantly. Also, the mobility helps you to build strong project ideas. So in my case, I did my BSc in Turkey and MSc and PhD in England, then postdoc in America. So like in 3 continents, 3 different countries. So this helped me a lot actually. So strong project idea is again related to your strong CV. If you have a good CV, you are like be able to produce, you know, strong project ideas. So in my case, I had this project idea before the call announcement. So I like the call was open like April. So I nearly had this idea 1 year before the call announcement. So during the project writing, I just only focus on the technical details of the project. So my suggestion and my recommendations, not to wait till last minute. So you should develop your project idea like a month ago, even a year ago. So this will help you significantly. So it should be like original idea related to your background. For example, in my case, I was doing some smart textiles. Then I went to Harvard University. They were doing like soft robotics structures, but they were not using textiles. They were using another materials, kind of silicon materials. So I thought it would be like a great idea to convert them into the textiles. So again, in your project, it should be multidisciplinary because this is one of the evaluation criteria for you. So another thing is you have to learn new things. It's not just about like a scientific proposal. Also, the proposal need to help enhance your career actually. So in my case, for example, I was good at textiles, but I thought in the project I wrote, I will learn new things such as like a control theory for soft robotics. So, but at the same time, so my supervisor and my host institution will learn new things from my side as well. So training for soft skills. So this could be writing like a projects and like to develop yourself in another areas apart from the scientific field. So another thing is partners in academia and industry. I choose two secondment institution. One of them from the like academia in Italy, the other one from the like industry from England actually. So this is a strong project team. So I got some questions for potential candidates. So how your supervisor, like whether he should be like really strong in his area or his academic title. So in my case, my supervisor is a doctor. Actually, now he's assistant doctor. I am associate professor. So, but the thing is, as I said, I am good at textile. He is good at control theory and robotics. So apart from his academic title, he needs to be good at what he is doing actually. So his academic title is not really important for this like project, for this fellowship, but he needs to have some experience supervising, let's say, postdocs, PhD students, and master students as well. So another thing for secondment institutions, I chose Biorobotics Institute at Italy and one company from England, as I said. So actually, there is some strange things in my proposal. I'm doing textile. My primary supervisor in ITU at ITU doing robotics and control. This proposal idea is developing soft robotics, but he never done. My primary supervisor never does soft robotics. So he did robotics, but never done soft robotics. I did textile, but I never done the controls. So because of this, we added like a secondment institute from Italy, and then they were doing soft robotics. So if you choose a supervisor, it doesn't necessarily to cover all aspects of your project. If you add some secondment institute, and it will be, I think, enough. So let's look at my project details, and it is textile-based soft sensing actuators for soft robotic applications. And panel was information science and engineering, and duration of the project is 24 months, and 3 months in Italy and 1 month in England. But due to the COVID-19, so I'm not able to go to Italy and England. Maybe next year I will have chance to go there, but still we are doing like online meetings, that kind of things. So let's look at the my proposal, some part of my proposal. So also a previous presenter mentioned the first page of the proposal is really important. So you need to catch the reviewers during the first page, and then you have to give some brief and precise information what you're gonna do. So even in the first sentence, I wrote what I'm going to achieve doing this fellowship. So you have to write like in your target very briefly and very precisely. And then you have to mention multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary approach. And then, so you have to mention what you're gonna learn. And you have to mention similar projects around your area, what you wrote here. And then you need to find a similar project, and then you can show this project is timely. And then if possible, if you get some support letters, some institutions, you can't add these support letters to proposal, but you can create some links, and then you can add these links to the proposal. And also you have to mention about the economical and then social impact of this project. So what I wrote is here, it's just, you know, on the first page of the proposal. When the reviewers read this first page, they will understand what I'm going to do, and then how I'm going to do, and then whom I will work, and then what is its social and an economical impact of to my project. So state of art is one of the maybe crucial part of this project, these proposals, and you have to clearly define the missing points. And then I was lucky in this case, actually. I did my postdoc in Harvard University, and then they were doing soft robotics, and then they were doing frontier research in that area. And I was reading the literature, but at the same time, I've been in an institute where they were doing some like a frontier research in this area. So it was so easy for me to write this state of art part. So what I recommend for you, and if it's possible, for example, before the project writing, if you have a chance to visit the institution, like stay there 2-3 months, and then to develop mature your ideas, then write a proposal. This will help you greatly, actually. And from my experience, if you just read the like articles and like conference papers, you won't really write. This again my experience, but I feel you won't really write a good proposal, strong proposal. And another things. So in objectives and research methodology and approach section, so you have to match your work package and your objectives. For example, in this case, I wrote my research objective, then it's related to my work package. So I listed all the research objectives and work package together. And then also your project management, you can add as a separate work package. So in my case, I always use first person singular because this is my project. And also another important thing is you have to specify your workplace and then aim for each work package. For example, in here, I wrote in the user experience lab in computer engineering and informatics faculty at ITU, I will perform to design and evaluation of the human machine interface, blah, blah. And in some part of the proposal, I wrote in textile engineering laboratories, I will do that. So you have to definitely specify your workplace. If you don't do that, and then you will get a like a reviewer comment, it is not really clear where the applicant will do his or her research, that kind of things. And since the whole proposal, like 10 pages, it is so difficult to write this content, and it was challenging for me to adjust and arrange in 10 pages. So what I did, you know, so I cite my previous works instead of explaining them. So this helps you as well. So this is another part, innovative aspect of your plant research. So you have to, again, be very clear, and then you can use that kind of things, that sentence. For example, for the first time. So it is the first time and then never done before. That kind of sentence can show you your novelty of innovative aspect of your project. So, and the gender dimension part. So I think this is also important. They say if it's not related, not mentioned, no need to mention. But I always suggest, you know, to always mention this. If you don't do that, maybe they will deduct your marks. So whether it is related or not related, to be in safe side, I suggest you to write the gender dimension part of the project. So, and quality and appropriateness of training and the two-way transfer of knowledge between the researcher and the host. And then this is two-way knowledge transfer. So first of all, what they're gonna learn from your side, and then what will you learn from their side, actually. In my case, I have like a strong background in smart textile. I persuaded the reviewers I will transfer my knowledge in the area of smart textile to ITU. At the same time, I will learn things from my new supervisor. Let's say in this case, for example, I wrote microcontroller-based signal acquisition. I never done it before. So it is always that they are seeking what you're gonna learn. So they should be new things and then independent from your core area. So again, for the supervision, so as I said before, supervisor academic title is not really important, but they should be good at what they are doing. So you need to promote your supervisors. So you need to show they have some patents and that they are supervising master students, postdocs, and PhD students. And so also, apart from your primary supervisor, it is always good to add some additional supervisor, secondary supervisor, as well as co-supervisor from your primary institution. For example, you can write primary supervisor to the proposal, and you can mention the co-supervisor. Obviously, this co-supervisor won't be added to the application form, but within the proposal, you can mention this co-supervisor as well. Make your supervisory team strong. And so this is another part. And then you have to promote yourself in this case. So what you have done so far, and then you have to mention about your success story. And then again, if you have some mobility experience, you have to do that. And then if you supervise some students, you have to write this. If you have some awards or some like good papers, maybe some of your papers selected as a best papers, that kind of things will always help. So, but I'm saying a good track of record. So actually I have friend working as a Marie Curie reviewer. So what he told me, actually, if you have like 6 or 7 papers, and then if you graduated no more than 5 years from PhD, I think it will be enough. So again, it is not, again, the reviewer look at, your maturity. For example, if you graduate like 10 years before from your PhD, they expect, the more publication, more patents from your side. If you are new graduate, so if you produce some works, and then I think it will be enough. So another thing is, and then this impact section, I think nowadays it is so straightforward, and then every applicant in impact section and implementation section, there are some ready things. They implement their proposal, candidates implement their proposal. And then what I feel, this impacts and implementation section, it can make you win, but they can make you fail actually. So you have to write these parts very clearly. And in this case, for example, when you write here, enhancing the future career prospects, so you need to write what could be the possible new projects when you finish this fellowship. So about the future collaborations, and then also, for example, I am in academia. I added a new secondment institute from England. It was an industrial institution. So I thought, my research outcome will have chance to turn into industrial products. So since we are at the same time, if you are working in industry, you have to add something from the academic side. So, and then you have to clearly define for future career prospects. So in this case, in dissemination part, what I did, for example, I created a table. I wrote scientific publication and seminars and international conferences working with industrial partner, but it is so crucial to give here like a number. So for example, my target is to publish 2-3 papers, and for example, where I will publish paper in scientific reports in the area of like a control part of soft robotics, and I will publish one paper in advanced materials from the manufacturing side of soft sensors or soft actuators. So you have to give very the specific detail in this case. Even for conferences, for example, I wrote the conferences name as well, and then I even wrote what I'm going to deliver in these conferences. So, but whatever you write in this section, they should be very specific. Because I saw some reviewer comments, if you write, for example, I aim to publish like a too high impact like journal papers, but if you don't write the journal names and then what you're gonna publish, and then reviewer write, it is not clear where to publish, and then what will be the subject for these publications. So apart from this scientific medium, so you have to reach the other community. In this case, I wrote engaging with Spastic Children's Foundation of Turkey, so and organizing a workshop among young school students. It always helps if you reach the, apart from your own scientific community, if you reach the public, it always helps. So I'm already doing that kind of study. So during my fellowship, I already reached the industry. I already visited the schools, and I already arranged some workshop. Apart from this, in implementation part, the Gantt chart is very important. So your Gantt chart should be very clear and precise. It needs to show your work package, your deliverables, your milestones, and then when the reviewers look at your Gantt chart, they need to understand what you're gonna learn, what you're gonna do in this time space actually. So this risk, this is again, it's very crucial. So you have to define your risk related to your work package. But I suggest, for example, if you write a 4 work package or 5 work package, if you write 5 risks and then they're like a solution, this will greatly help. So this part I got from the IT EU office. This is very straightforward, and then you can find this info from your school to add this is the last part of the proposal. So, and then seeking for help is very crucial. So in our school, we have great people. They are working in our EU office. They helped me from the beginning of this proposal writing. They supplied me all necessary documents. So, and then they even checked my proposal. They look at the, even English. So I also very thankful to TÜBİTAK. They gave me a support. So I did reach the consulting agency, and then they did some proofreadings. And then also your friends in this area, like my 2 or 3 friends, they look at my proposal, they check my proposal, they correct it, it's English, and then give some scientific feedbacks for the proposal. So let's look at this evaluation summary. So I got the 5 out of 5 from the excellence section. So again, as you see, the proposal presents a multidisciplinary approach. This has to be in the proposal, this multidisciplinary approach. And again, there is an appropriate equal gender representation. So you have to mention about the multidisciplinary approach. So you have to definitely mention about the gender representation. Also here, for example, the measures for the transfer of knowledge from the host to researcher are well described. So you have to definitely mention what the host will gain your side, and then what you gain from the host institute. And for example, here, the host group will benefit from the researcher expertise in smart textiles and wearable electronics, and specific knowledge transfer measures are planned. So you have to measure about the supervision team. So as I said, officially 1 supervisor is okay, but if you add other co-supervisor, this will help you great actually. And another thing is, so as you see, there is no weakness for the excellence section. There is actually assessment grid for the this proposal. I checked every part of this assessment grid. So I developed my proposal based on this assessment grid. You can find it. So impact section, I was waiting 5 out of 5 from the impact section, but I wrote I will build a startup company, and then here it came as a weakness. They say it is not clear how the plans for a startup combined with the primary of the researchers to follow an academic career. So they deduct 2 marks from here, and then so not enough emphasis is given to patents. They are saying, see, for example, IP rights between researcher and participating organization are appropriately planned. I mentioned here patents, but I don't know how the reviewers missed this part. So the thing is, you have to target like a 5 out of 5 from every section of the project. Even, for example, here, they are saying not enough emphasis given to patents, but I know I wrote this part in the project, but now it doesn't really matter. So I got the lowest mark from the implementation section. So, and then they say I'm doing actually some pilot studies with the users, but they are saying with the only limited number of the users. So I had written like I will use like a 10 users for this as a like a user test. They found it very less, but based on my previous experience, it was too difficult to find the candidates for these trials, but they deduct the mark here. And then here, for example, they deduct the mark operational and behavioral risk, user comfort and acceptance or usability are not well considered. In this case, I know I already added this part, but they deduct the mark. So my suggestion, again, my recommendation, maybe I'm repeating and again, you have to aim like a 5 out of 5 from the proposal, and then reviewers always will find some weakness, even they will create some weakness for your proposal. So, and then I would like to add some also another additional things. So I got this fellowship through the reintegration panel. So when we look at this reintegration, and I applied from the information and engineering panel. So previously that they were just 2 successful candidates, applicants. They get to this reintegration fellowships in our area, and then we thought it is so difficult to get this. But also my wife works as a Marie Curie fellow. Me and her get the Marie Curie fellowship at the same time. And if you follow some technical advice, and then if you have like a strong idea, I'm sure you will have a high chance to get this fellowship. So thank you very much for listening. Sorry for my poor English. Thank you.
Dear Özgür Atalay, we thank you very much for your really very thorough and fruitful presentation. I got really nice feedbacks on your presentation as well. I guess with these kind of presentations, we see, of course, the European Commission participation tell us that the main parts we have to be careful about, but your presentations show us that really very, very minor details are very important for these projects, because the competition is very high with individual fellowships. So you have to be emphasizing on each little detail in your projects.
Important, yeah.
Yes, so now with these presentations, we clearly saw that. Now I will try to...
By the way, I'm happy to answer the question if you have some.
Yes, we will have a question and answer session after our presentation. If it's okay for you, we can
I'm around.
do that all together, because I think we will receive more questions. Then we can answer them all together. Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm around.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay. Thank you very much. So I will be presenting what we are doing as TÜBİTAK in our services. Okay. Let's start. Excuse me. Okay, now we are ready to go, I guess. As you might, as some of you know, we are working as national contact points in TÜBİTAK to coordinate these actions in Turkey. So we are here to help you while you are applying and while you are receiving your funds and your grant agreements phase. Also, while you are implementing your project, we are here to help all of you. So I would like to tell you about what services we are giving as TÜBİTAK. My name is Şema Sayınlar. I am working with my colleagues. Here you can see them. You also see Ms. Gaye Çetinkaya. We are working together. Also, we have another colleague who is in maternal leave now, and she will be joining us in later months. As I told you, we are here to help. So you can find our contact info in our website, but also there are national contact points in every country within this Horizon 2020 program. So if you have any questions regarding to the country you want to go, for example, you can contact them. We have a NCP project we implement together. It is really very useful also to us and also to you. You can find all their contacts within this address, as you can see in the slide. Also, we have a blog together. If you want to visit, this is a really useful blog. I even use it sometimes. This is for Net for Mobility. You can see the address here. We have a FAQ page where you can choose every bit of your questions by the topics in here. But of course, we have our own website. This is a really, really useful website. I also use our website on TÜBİTAK very frequently. If you visit this website, you will see that we have very detailed information about the calls, and you can find any documentation in these sites, not only on MSCA, every call of Horizon 2020. So if you are wondering something, please first visit our website, then check the documents. If you cannot still find the answer, you always can contact us. What else we are doing? We are doing some information days, as we are doing right now. We always try to do a big event in the main cities once in a year. This year we couldn't do it. This information day was supposed to be one of those days, but we couldn't do it due to late circumstances. So we are doing it online, but we always go to the universities to make presentations like these. Sorry. Also, we have many different documents on whichever topic you are looking for. As our event is on IF, I will talk about the individual fellowship program. First, you need to check the work program of the topic. Then you will see the guide for applicants for MSCA's course. This is a very, very useful document you have to check before you apply, because it contains each topic you have to cover in your project proposal. This proposal is made on a template, is already settled by European Commission. You will see each and every topic and the criteria on this template. And the guide for applicants has this template at the end of the document. Each topic should be covering some special issues, and these are also included in Guide for Applicants. And there's a handbook. We specially organized it with our NCP project, within our NCP project. Also, we have an ESR analysis document. Now we are not to share these last 2 years ESR analysis, but you can check. I guess it was the latest 2017 ESR analysis. You will be seeing this document also in our website. As you saw in the presentation of Mr. Atalay, each and every type of some positive and negative feedbacks you may receive to your projects, you will see in this ESR analysis documents. And we are preparing submission guides to you, for you, if you want to see what kind of phases you should go through while you apply. You can check those documents. As I mentioned before, we have a FAQ blog within our project. This is a very also useful blog. And as I also mentioned, our website is my #1 website. I find it very useful, really. Sorry. And we are trying to give assistance on finding partnerships. As IF do not need any partnership, we are, as you can see here, announcing the universities who are looking for IF applicants. So we also add them in our website. But also you can check for new opportunities in your access portal, which I will tell about a bit later. But also in MSCA's other calls as IT and RISE. You can find the partner search section in funding and tenders portal. If you can check this portal, you will see some opportunities on finding partnerships. Also, this is a very frequently asked question to us, if I can see any projects examples. European Commission are sharing all projects they funded in this system, Cordis. Its name is Cordis. You have to check this website here, and you will see every project with which the grant agreement is signed. In this part, you will see these abstract of the project and who's involved within the project, the partners, the institutions, everything. Also, there is a dashboard also prepared by EC. This dashboard, I also find it very, very useful. As you can see, you can choose every bit of the options. So you will see the all kind of statistics. In this picture here, you are seeing the statistics of MSCA. If you want to do further research, you can also visit this website. And as NCPs, we are always in touch with European Commission. They are always updating us, training us within this calls within this program, but also we are giving them information if we see any kind of problems, any requirements, any requests coming from our researchers, our institutions. We are contacting them to tell them that we received some kind of requests. So please do not hesitate to contact us if you think there is something confusing about the calls, or if you have some special requests, you can contact us, and if we have the chance, we will share it with the Commission. This is another important issue, I think, is Cengiz Acartürk is an expert, and you see how they have valuable information about the cause, so you can become an expert on the area. This needs, of course, some kind level of experts, but in this website you can just register, and the EC will come back to you. Also, after you register, you can contact to us telling your ID number for expert. So we will contact the EC telling them that we have this kind of recommendation. As I mentioned, I will tell a little bit more about your access services. It is a very, very valuable service which EC is giving. This is some kind of a portal that you can find any kind of information, jobs and funding opportunities. As you can see some assistance, find some assistance in the worldwide, because there are some Euraccess points in each country. So they are all collaborating together. If you have any question, please first check in Euraccess portal. As you can see, there are many options in the website. And you can see what Turkey is doing in Euraccess. We have 4 Euraccess points, as I will show you later. And we also have some documents about how you can add a researcher to the portal or a CV to the portal. This kind of documents, please visit our website. As you can see, each of these countries have some Euraccess points. So if you want to visit one of these countries, you can directly contact to their points, and they will give you information about the country, some specific questions, because as you have also know that we might not know the special conditions of this country you want to go. So this is the right point for you to ask your questions. This is our latest numbers in Euraccess centers. As you can see, TÜBİTAK is the team leader, and METU, ITA and ITU has their service center in Euraccess. They're really helpful, not only to the researchers who's going to them, but also to other researchers to going other institutions. So do not hesitate to ask them any question you need. This is our common contact address. If you send an email to this address, we will all receive those mails. So we will get back to you as soon as possible. It's very important to us that informing our researchers. So I guess this is the end of my presentation. Now my colleague Nazlı will be presenting about our supports we give to the researchers while they are applying, writing their projects. 1 minute, dear Nazlı. I will just. Okay, welcome.
Hi, Şeyma. Thank you, and thank you for all of the presenters. Hello, everyone. My name is Nazlı. I have been working as a support programs contact point for European Union framework programs at TÜBİTAK for 2 years. I am responsible for Marie Curie individual fellowship and also co-fund pre-evaluation supports and travel supports for Malta partner projects today I will present you the support and award program for Marie Curie individual fellowship, basically. I hope that after today, support and award programs will attract your attention and we will receive your applications right away. I will give some brief information about goal and aims of the programs. Main aims of the supports and awards are facilitating the entrance of new actors to European Union Framework Program, enhancing the numbers of projects applications, raising the quality of project proposals, increasing the number of project coordinators, and motivating Turkish actors with awards in order to continue their participation of the framework programs. We are 6 supports and 2 awards for these aims. You can see them on the screen now. Support and award programs provide financial incentives for attending meetings and events related to the framework program, pre-evaluation or writing of proposals, attending trainings and organizing meetings. Those supports and awards are not only for the actors who want to submit multi-partner projects, but also SME instrument and individual programs like ERC and Marie Curie Individual Fellowship. From now on, I will focus on Marie Curie IF pre-evaluation support. You can always reach detailed information about all of these programs from our website and apply to them easily. Marie Curie IF pre-evaluation support is for the researchers who have made their project's proposal ready to present the European Commission. Pre-evaluation support may include reading and evaluation of individual fellowship proposal by an individual consultant or consulting company, editing, revising, and consultancy during application process. The applicants leaving out of Europe and coming back to Turkey for at least 12 months, and the applicants coming to Turkey from abroad for the duration of 12 to 24 months are considered for support evaluation. The upper limit for pre-evaluation support is 2,000 euros for individual fellowship. As of today, for the Horizon 2020, 209 support applications were approved by TÜBİTAK, and these project proposals were evaluated by European Commission. 114 of the project proposals have been in above threshold list, and 19 of them were funded by European Commission with nearly 3 million euros budget. Marie Curie IF 2020 pre-evaluation support call opened in April, and the deadline is 20th of July. Only the applicants who prepare a proper proposal in accordance with the European Commission criteria are eligible to apply for IF support. Now I want to explain application and evaluation process. Applications should be made through the online format destekler.h2020.org.tr to be able to apply. The researcher should have an up-to-date ARBIS account. ARBIS system is TÜBİTAK CV's service system. It should contain Part B and Part B2 of the draft proposal. Then it will preliminarily be reviewed by the program contact point. If the application meets the requirements, evaluation process can start. The application is mainly evaluated by 2 experts, commonly scientists who have Marie Curie IF experience, experts from European Commission or Marie Curie IF holders. Final decision about application is made by the evaluation board in the International Cooperation Department in TÜBİTAK. At the end of the evaluation process, applicants will be informed about support result by an email. Applicants should use a valid email address in order to get notifications properly. The evaluation phase will start immediately after the completion of the online application and take 2 or 3 weeks. Therefore, the applicants do not have to wait to finalize their applications until the deadline. Successful applicants are obligated to submit their projects to European Commission and send a screenshot that shows project is submitted to TÜBİTAK within 2 months from the Marie Curie IF 2020 call deadline, that is 9 of September. Now you can see the criteria for consultants and consultant companies. You can get Marie Curie IF pre-evaluation services from person or company that meet these conditions. In order to not having difficulties, I strongly recommend that before application, consultant or company should be contacted and agreement should be done. If this process has not been completed at application time, documents related to consultants or company should be sent by email to TÜBİTAK until end of July. Applicants should do the payment to person or company via their own account and send the payment slip to TÜBİTAK. And also, I would like to provide you a few notes regarding awards. A threshold award is given to project proposal submitted to European Commission, which passed the threshold level. The threshold level is set by TÜBİTAK for each goal. It is 80 for Marie Curie IF. Threshold award is applicable for beneficiaries from Turkey who are in charge of a Turkish institution or have Turkish citizenship. Amount of the award is fixed and differentiates according to the project type or role of Turkish institution. For Marie Curie IF, you can see the numbers for previous year. If you're past the 18 points in this year, you can take 10,000 TL by applying the award. And if you pass 90 points and not get funded from European Commission, you can take 15 TL by applying the award. The sole purpose of the award is to encourage researchers for their next projects. Our second award is Success Award. It's applicable for projects funded by European Commission. After the grant agreement is signed, project contact point can apply to TÜBİTAK on behalf of a project team, but in Marie Curie IF case, only you. Amount and formula of award differentiates according to the project type or role of Turkish institution. You can see the amounts of them according to the years. If your project gets funded in this year, you can take award according to your project budget. For Marie Curie IF, when you apply Success Award, I think this amount will be between 30 and 60,000 TL. You should submit financial reports for each period in order to take payment. Now I want to show you our website. I strongly recommend you to subscribe in it. So you can be notified of European Union Framework Program call all of the time and announcements about both calls and TÜBİTAK support and awards programs. Also, you can access the contact information of all people working in our office. You can find detailed information about all support and award programs from the top right corner. When you click support and award programs, this page opens. It directs you to the page where you can find the details of each program. For example, now you can see the Marie Curie Project Pre-Evaluation Support Program page. It contains detailed information for application, evaluation and payment process, and all of the requirements and liabilities. That's all I'm going to share with you today. You can always contact me for any question regarding support and award programs. If you have any question, we would like to receive them from the chat session. And thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much, dear Nazlı. It was also another great presentation. I think we have a really good info day today. Okay, we have some questions directly asked to Mr. Atalay and Acartürk. I will also invite them to answer together. One question about project experience point that Özgür Bey mentioned. Even if our previous proposals are rejected, is it worth to mention them as experience in the proposal? What do you think?
Yeah, actually, I mentioned my successful proposal rather than failing. So
yes.
I never, but yeah, so it is always better to highlight your success stories in that case.
Yes, I agree. Does Özgür have some tips on how to build an international research team?
Yeah, so the thing is, from the very beginning of my presentation, I mentioned, the mobility, even before the Marie Curie Fellowship, is key criteria to be successful. And as I said, I did my postdoc in Harvard University. I used to have a friend over there. And then this friend went to Italy and started to work by a robotic institute in the area of soft robotics. So I know this guy. So I just directly wrote, to them. So it is always, for example, we wrote this year MSCA RISE project. Hopefully I will be coordinator again in that case.
Yeah, I am
so
too.
we found 21 partners, but one partner is one of my PhD supervisor in England.
Yes.
Other, like a partner from the United States, my friends, the graduate from the United States. Then we found, but even if you can send them direct emails to the people as well. So this helps.
Yes, definitely.
So your research, yeah, okay. So the people plus directly send an email, explain yourself, and then you will get at least 60-70% return.
Yes, okay. I agree. As our experience also shows that generally the people are the first addresses. You can also ask them if they know anybody who might be participate to the project, even if they don't want to, or even if they are not the right fit to the project. They might tell you someone who are willing.
Sorry, I just want to add something in that case as well.
Yes.
So as I said, I got a support from the TÜBİTAK. I worked with this consulting agency, and then this guy found me my industrial partner in this area. So also they can help as well.
Yes, that's true. That's definitely true. We have one question I want to ask to Mr. Acartürk. How realistic should be the exploitation and dissemination shall be? I'm afraid that it might be non-realistic. Could you give a number of average publications and dissemination activities one can be involved in?
Yeah, this is of course the debate, and it should be, in a sense, it should be realistic, but not too much realistic. But let me give some examples. If you skip mentioning social media frontiers, it is a mistake. But if you, in your deliverable list of dissemination and exploitation plan, if you give the impression that each and every week you will make a presentation in another city in Turkey or any other country, it is not realistic. So also it depends on the evaluation context of that specific year. I mean, this is a matter of complaint among evaluators too, because as years pass, the impact sections have become so ambitious that they are now unbelievable. So the applicant says that she will do everything. I mean, she will work day and night. She will go to villages this week to evaluation. this is, so you should your own intuition. So this is not this is a very nice question, of course, but not an easy answer.
Yes.
I guess, yeah. The thing is that if it is, the worst thing that you may do is to make a limited presentation just by simply saying that I will go to conferences and I will go to workshop, but it is not enough. This is the key point. You should say that you will organize workshop. So you are not only a passive attendee of events, but you will organize events. But these events should not have a weekly period, maybe one workshop for 5-6 months. This is reasonable. This is doable.
Okay. Okay. Great information. Thank you very much.
Maybe I can add also something to
yes,
here.
Yes, please.
But in terms of publication, for example, you always write, we aim to high impact journals. So, but if you don't have really high impact journals track of record, you can't say, you know, that I will publish in Nature or Science, you know, you have to put your targets realistically in that case as well.
Yes.
So,
one of the most complaints we got from EC, they say that they put really very unrealistic aims. They generally cannot do that. So, for example, saying that you will be giving 10 articles in one project, then you only can do 2 or 3. It is, doesn't look good. So,
two, for example, I read 2. I said I will publish 2 articles.
Yes.
So 1 year is nearly finishing, so I'm about to publish 1. So this is realistic, and some conferences as well. And then again, I'm recommending when you say high impact journals, they should be close to your previous, you know, the publication report.
Yes, definitely. Very great. So we have a question for Dr. Atalay. Could you please provide information how to obtain this assessment grade you have mentioned before?
Yeah, I just already.
Yes, you sent. Yes.
If you just directly, you know, the write assessment grid MSCA, it will come out. Actually, you will see there, and then I share the link and as well as PDF file as well.
Yeah, it would be great. Can you do that in this chat box?
If you look at this, and then if you evaluate yourself, and again, I'm sure you won't get lesser than 90.
Okay.
So this is actually really great, you know, the chart.
I am attaching the document. No.
In the meantime, if
yes,
I may,
please.
I want to make a comment about the number of articles. It is field dependent. I mean, if you are conducting research in chemistry, the average number of articles you may publish as a researcher is much higher than computer science articles in journals. Because computer engineers and computer scientists usually go to conferences for publication venues. Then you should also take this into account. I mean, because I saw a comment, in some domains, 1 article per 18 months may be realistic, but it is not enough in domains like biology and chemistry. So you should check the practice. I mean, what is the average number of articles to publish? But if you say that in any field, I'm going to publish at least 5 articles, it is not quite realistic. Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much. Let's see, when will be notified about the outcome of the application for pre-evaluation support? Is there a timeline for that? Yes, we are trying to get back to you as soon as possible, generally in 2 to 3 weeks. But if there is, I want to tell you something about this. This is very important. If you just do your applications to pre-evaluation support at the last day, you will fail. Because, you know, you first go to this evaluator, they will evaluate your project, then they will give you feedback. Then you have to just recheck your project and rewrite it again. So please do not do it at the end of our due date, because generally everybody does that. So we cannot get back to you as soon as possible if you all are doing your proposals at the last day. Maybe Ms. Nazlı wants to say something about it. I guess I did. So if you apply a little bit before the deadline, it would be great. We are getting back to you as soon as possible. Yes, we will share all the presentations and we will share all the recording. Gantt chart. Can you give an example filling the Gantt chart? Is it possible to do it verbally here?
Yeah, actually Gantt chart it's not really, you know, related to Marie Curie fellowship proposal. It's the same Gantt chart we do in every project proposal actually. You just mentioned the work package, the milestone, the conference, you know, the participation and workshop dates. You know, you write everything in this Gantt chart. So if you have previous project experience, writing experience, it is the same, no difference. Even for TÜBİTAK projects, you know, you follow the same procedure actually.
Yes, that's true, that's true. Do we have to recruit it by the host institution before submitting the project? If not, just writing the name of the host institution is just enough to reliable. This is very important. The coordinator will be the host institution. So the host institution will submit your project. So the recruitment will be after when you get funded, but they will actually have the rights of the project while applying. So generally our researchers prepare the project proposal, but then the host institution submits. Mr. Atalay, would you like to say something about it? How was your procedure in this?
It is, you can still work over there before the application. So because you don't need to be, you know, as a newcomer. So for example, I was working in ITU, but it was no more than like a 36 months within 5 years.
Yes, so it is very important.
Yeah, you can just, you know, apply from the institution you already work. So this is not but there is like a mobility rule, like a time limit. So you have to be careful about this actually.
Okay, great.
So I know one of my friends was already working in ITU, got the fellowship. Another friend, you know, was working in another institution, but he didn't get what he applied for that institution. So this is not.
But this is not an obligation. It might be as long as you are applying the mobility rule, you're eligible for it. You can be recruited already, but you don't have to.
Yeah, but mobility rule is the key thing here.
Yes, definitely. Global fellowship, USA. No. For the global fellowship, you have to choose one institution while you go and one institution when you got back. It's not possible to use 2 different institutions, but if you want to do some secondments, you can choose some other institutions as per your secondments. What is the percentage of work done by the host supervisors in terms of writing the proposal? This is
0.
0. Yes.
0. But the thing is, I have I have one postdoc right now. I am postdoc, but I already got the postdoc. So we will apply for Marie Curie fellowship this year for her actually, and then we are working together on this. Actually, depends, So she's my friend. I will help her. So this is the case, actually.
Yes, definitely. But of course, host institution will provide you the information about the institution, because you have to also write some information about the host institution. They can provide.
I'm sorry. I said 0, but not really 0, because they wrote some, the part which I don't know. Yeah, they help.
Yes,
but
yes, that's true.
You write, and then, for example, you seek help. As I said, I don't know I'm getting help from the control theory. I had no idea. So this guy wrote this part. So,
okay.
You initiate, you seek help.
Yes, that's true. Because this is your project. It seems different with the gray areas, and I guess we need to provide both milestones and deliverables deliverables at the time. Can we choose between them? Maybe Mr. Ajarturk wants to apply this. I guess they're asking about milestones and deliverables. They are two different things, and they have to say something about both of them, I guess.
Yeah, when you look at a Gantt chart as an evaluator, what you do is actually you look for some logical contradictions. This is the first thing. And how many deliverables the applicant is going to deliver during the course of the project. And what are the important milestones? Milestones are crucial for identifying or preparing the contingency table, because milestones are important for the progress of the fellowship. So if you fail in one of the milestones, you should have a backup plan. So this is how milestones are they differ from deliverables. So, and also they are closely connected to how work packages are connected to each other. I mean, the three major components of any Gantt chart is that you have work packages, milestones, and deliverables. Deliverables are outcomes, outputs of the project. Milestones are risky periods. I mean, for instance, at months, let's say month 9 or month 6, I will announce a data management plan. At month 9, I will have done this and so on. So these are connections between work packages mostly. This is what is expected. So as long as you provide a consistent and coherent Gantt chart, this should be straightforward. So you may not have, let's say, 15 deliverables. This is also not sound. I mean, you eventually, if you have a 2 years project, maybe your number of deliverables will be like, maybe, I don't know, less than 10, but at least you should have deliverables for dissemination. So it is not only project output. So I guess more or less what evaluators are doing is that they are looking for logical consistency in the implementation part. So is it an answer to that question?
Yes, I think so. I think so. A question about the supervisor's area and the researcher's area. I would like to expand this question because we got many similar questions. Sometimes they say that they are really, really very like very experienced on their research area, so it is difficult to find a supervisor. So how can be the relationship between them, about the area, the supervisors and researchers?
Yeah, I can answer from my experience.
Yes.
So first of all, you shouldn't think, the only one supervisor. There should be like a supervisor team in this case.
Ah, great, yes.
Yeah, one supervisor is your official supervisor, and then there are second supervisor. Some are more or less they will be your official, but at the same time you can find a co-supervisor as well. So I'm explaining my experience. I'm a textile guy, so I was doing textile science. I was working in electronic textiles area. So I went to Harvard. I did some robotics, soft robotics, but they were in a different. I wanted to turn into the textiles. So I said, I will take care of the textile part. Okay, but the robotics need kind of control strategy. So I need to find a guy from like a computer engineering or control engineering. So my supervisor shouldn't be textile oriented person. Okay. So textile, and then I went, to like a computer engineering department. I found this guy in the area of control and rigid robotics. But these guys in IT, even they were not doing soft robotics. So I needed the guy who does soft robotics. Yes. So I found an institution as a second one. Then the second supervisor became, by another supervisor. So I went to, another kind of found the industrial partner. So because he will share his experience in the part of industry. So as I said, it is also good to, to find a supervisor from different area, not your area, because you are saying, you are promising you will improve yourself. You will enhance your knowledge in different areas.
Yes.
You will take your core
Career
area, you
developments.
will add something on it. So it is natural to find a guy from different expertise area.
Okay, great. It was a very explanatory answer. Would you like to add something to this, Mr. Gerturk?
No, I agree. I mean, so the evaluators, let's say, they are aware that there's never an exact match between a supervisor and an applicant, because what you see in terms of publications and web presence, actually it is lagging behind 1 or 2 years. I mean, if you check my publications now, it is not actually a good description of what I am doing recently in the lab. You will see that
Yes.
2 years later, because it takes time to materialize research outputs. So there is, and people are aware of this flexibility. So, but more or less, a broad match would be expected.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Does it matter who submits the proposal? Last time I have written the proposal and the supervisor from host institution confirmed only. Is the problem if I submit it as a researcher? Well, it depends on who has access to the portal, actually, because, you know, it's an online application. So it is made online if you have the password of this institution's account. Yes, please.
As a researcher, you have to open a like a registration form.
Yes.
You fill the registration form, you upload the proposal. As a researcher, you submit it. It becomes from your account, but as if you get, you know, the like approval from your supervisor. So
yes.
you click, you know, and this is your account, and then you click the button. That's
yes. It. Great. Yes. I guess that's all of the questions were asked. It was really very fruitful. Also for me, I learned a lot from you. So we can end the session. We didn't get too late. I'm happy about it.
Sorry
yes,
to interrupt. There is one important point to remind.
Yes, please.
I forgot mentioning it. In Horizon 2020, there is open research data pilot concept. The applicants should have a look at this, because this is a very specific clue that they may improve the impact section. Very briefly, open data can be understood in 2 components. One of them is open access publications.
Yes.
I call it publications. I'm of course not predatory journals, but the other is open research data. So this is also important. There are platforms for presenting research data openly to the public. So nowadays the evaluators are looking for these clues in applications. But it is a pilot, so it is not fixed, but at least in Horizon 2020, it may be good to have a look at that. Yeah. Okay.
You're definitely right. It was very useful as far as we can follow the news. As with this pandemic, the open access become more and more important. And also before that, the EC was really trying to do some big steps, take some big steps about open access. This is not obligatory for the researchers, but they are really keen on open access. So it was, yes, open access.
Yeah, open research data is another thing. So 2 things. One of them is open access is about publication.
Yes.
Open research data is about disseminating data, research data. So it may be good to be aware of this difference between different types of open data. Then, so it may then be good to have a look at to this pilot web page or from the European Union. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, we will share the presentations once again. Please follow our website's newsletters. We always try to share our news, our presentations, our this kind of information about info days from the newsletter. And we will be also publishing the recording from here. At least I will try. So we can, I think, end the meeting now. Thank you once again for the great presentations and for your kind participation. Have a nice day, I guess.
Thank you very much for your organization. Thanks a lot. Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.